Hey, look at that. I'm covered up by the wolf. Hey, everybody. It's Jason Farrow, one part of the Savage Sandbox and the creative force behind Farrow's Creative Studios. Welcome to Phalanx, episode 11. And we got some awesome guests I'm going to introduce in a minute. You might notice a little bit of a setup here. I got some new stuff going on back here. So I'm working on some things. But forgive me if everything looks different, it's because everything is different. So, all right. So first off, I'm going to introduce Jerry Shatlin of E4 Comics and of the Elements fame, and a one part of the Savage Sandbox, and I must say one of my favorite people. So, all right, and welcome, Jerry.
What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, buddy? Long time no see. It's like it's like I wasn't even speaking to you in the green room a minute ago.
Yeah,
But
right. I
but
like the setup you got, man. It's a great setup
yeah,
back there.
it's trial and error. Like I said, we were talking. I got this microphone. I'm still not used to. I got all this. I got a lot of bells and whistles. I'm not really that kind of guy. So all right. So we're gonna be a little light today. Only because most of our other Savage Sandbox members have previous engagements. Um, and unfortunately, the boys in Australia are dealing with the Delta variant of COVID-19, so they won't be joining us today. That's Nate and Jack from Slate Comics. Dennis Valencia has a previous engagement he has to make. Jesse, well, let's be honest, Jesse never makes it. No, Jesse's doing stuff with his kid. He's very devoted father. So I completely get it. I get it. And the boys from Covenant are doing all kinds of other stuff, as well as Nicholas Mueller from Demon Hunter Raven. So and first, but I'm missing somebody. Oh, that's right. I'm missing my fantastic co-host, the peanut butter to my jelly, uh, Mr. Chris.
Sorry.
Chris Michaels.
My bad.
So, Chris
What's
Michaels,
up?
everyone. Yeah,
What's going on, guys? It's been a long time.
yeah, it's it's funny. I was driving home from work today, and I was said to myself that it's been since we announced the golden distribution thing. I think that was the last time we did a Phalanx. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, that being said, what ended up happening was we all went off. We had other projects, and and then summer started, so there's that, and we're all we're all family folk. So it kind of took the backseat to everything. So, Jerry froze, man. There you go. It isn't you, and it isn't me. There he is. I was
Aha.
just saying, Jerry froze. I said it wasn't Chris, it wasn't I.
For some reason, this works better off of Wi-Fi.
For some
That makes
reason,
no
this thing,
sense.
my face is completely like cut off. What the hell? There's my mug. Oh, you poor people. Anyway, so yeah.
Yeah, this thing works better off of Wi-Fi. I don't get it.
Oh,
That's
of course
weird.
it does, because you're using data. Of course, it works better over Wi-Fi. I'm going to start the comments up. I haven't even jumped in over here. Real quick. We haven't run running comments. There we are. Hey,
Dan?
wow. Dan, I was actually speaking to Dan when I got in from work, talking about Bigfoot Knows Karate. We were just he's bouncing some ideas and asking some advice, and I gave him
Dan the man.
advice that I would hope would be good advice. And of course, you have the lovely Mrs. Selhoff and Mrs. Win.
Mrs. Winchester.
If
Yeah.
so, and the thing. So, okay. So what is this episode about? That's funny. We went to our very first outing as a brand. That's pretty cool. Like it was. I mean, I know we planned it, but it was kind of. I mean, I wouldn't say it was last minute, but it was certainly something that wasn't rushed, but it wasn't like really thought out. Like we didn't plan this for months and months and months. I think we kind of came to conclusion on this somewhere around March, maybe April, maybe, and then
Mhm.
and we came from far and wide Well, at least Gary and I did, and you and Dennis were semi-local to the event.
I don't know what you're talking about. I
Absolutely.
had the longest drive out of all of you guys.
Yeah, you sure did.
Okay.
Maybe your longest drive was the morning you picked me up and you had to deal with me driving to that might have been the longest drive.
Yeah, you
But
guys were sleeping in the same hotel, and yet I had
know.
to drive you.
I told you. I did I not tell you, like, I completely spaced and I forgot Jerry was even staying in the same hotel as me. I don't know. You're
I
gonna
thought it was
listen.
me.
The
I thought
longer
maybe
you
I
deal,
smelled
the
or
longer
something.
you deal with me, the more you're gonna understand that that's a real thing. Like that's constantly gonna happen to me. But that is like a regular thing.
I was
Anyway.
like, maybe because I stink or something. He didn't want to ride in the same car with me.
No. It's just because I literally have about 3 active brain cells. So, and synapses just
Yeah,
don't
I can
fire like
agree with that.
you can verify that now after
Yep.
meeting. Yeah, exactly. But hey, I want to thank everyone that's already joined us. I know this is this is a long time between episodes, and we want to make this more regular. And we were discussing that, and that's something we promised to do going forward. I mean, obviously, it's something I did. I mean, I got a webcam now. Got this. I got a microphone over here somewhere. That, but
He's moving up in the
we're
world.
trying to we're trying to make it something because we enjoy doing it. And, so
Some of us, some of us.
some of us, some of us enjoy it. Some of us don't. So anyway, we came together this past weekend, and I came from Jersey, Jerry came from New York, and Chris came from the town that the thing was in. And then Dennis, we had Dennis who actually came from South Carolina. So the event was held in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It's Congregate 7, I believe it was. It's a sci-fi convention primarily. And we decided to all meet up. But, I think for a lot of us, I think it was a thing where I know it was for me specifically to get the hell out of New Jersey. Like
Hmm.
that was my I would have went anywhere. Christopher, like, hey, we're holding this in Louisiana. I'm like, I'm coming. I'm coming down.
Well, I would have done real well there with my book being out of Louisiana.
You probably would have, because So yeah, it was a cool convention. I mean, what's everyone's thoughts? I mean, it was well maintained, and it was the right kind of size, I think, to start for what we were doing.
Yeah, I think it would have been a lot worse if it was like a big event.
Oh my God,
Because,
yeah.
yeah, we learned a lot of things, a lot of do's, a lot of don'ts, and how to improve,
Oh yeah.
our next event.
Yep.
So if
Most
that was like
definitely.
a bigger con, it would have been, God knows, like hundreds of people coming to
Yeah,
us.
for
It
real.
would have been like, hold on,
Yeah,
that wouldn't have looked
it was
right.
definitely a learning experience, I think. I think we all
Yeah.
jotted our personal notes down.
I thought it was good that it was so small.
Yeah.
I mean, we had the best spot in the house to begin with, which was good.
Sure.
I would say, considering we have never hung out in a physical setting, it was a little less stressful getting to know you guys on a physical side, like sitting next to you, and then on top of it, trying to manage a table. I think there's something to be said about the fact that you go from a year in a virtual setting and then you meet people for the first time, and it's like you've been friends forever. So I thought that was great.
It was, yeah. I mean, I think what we all were amazed by, right? I think we all actually pretty much spoke of that. It was like there was like no weirdness. There was literally
I mean, we were weird.
Yeah, well, yeah, but still, there was.
It was good to see these two guys go at it in person. That was hilarious.
What are you talking about? You and I went out in person too about Power Rangers.
We
It was
did.
great. But honestly, it gave us some time to like get used to pitching and talking to people. I've worked events so many times, and I remember the first time I worked an event for Verizon. It was a Christmas show with the biggest show of the year for the business, and you just have to continually talk to people as they walk by. And for us, it was kind of finding what could you say to someone as they're walking by your table to get them to come over. And so, I mean, for me, it was, hey, do you like D&D?
That doesn't sound sexual at all.
Yeah, you want to come hang out in my dungeon and make a book?
Yeah, hey, do you like D&D? You can play with my dice.
Oh yeah, because I kept asking people to touch my dice. My big stuff.
Yep. And listen, hey, Jerry and I were speaking about this on the side when you were down there. And, well, what's up, Jackie? You were down there, and like you had the best line to get people in, and especially at a convention like that, most of those individuals played some kind of role playing game.
Mm-hmm.
And for you, it was literally the perfect segue into breaking the ice and having a conversation with these folks. And now, yeah, we took notice of that on our end, and it was good because all we had to say was, "We're like werewolves." That's all I had going for me. I got
guys.
I have Dracula in my book.
You had Jerry. I mean, you had probably the most relatable topic outside. I mean, tabletop. There was a couple of vendors there that did tabletop stuff, but you have a sci-fi book. Because you have like the space element in your book. So I think that you had probably the closest thing to a sci-fi book that we have now. I guess we all kind of fall into that science fiction, but if you say to anybody sci-fi, they think spaceships. Immediately they think space, they think those kind of things.
Yeah, Jerry's opening page is like literally
right
in space.
Yeah, so I think what I took away from that was how to gauge a crowd, how to check the temperature of the room, and figure out what to grab people with. I mean, there were times when you guys were talking to somebody, and this lady made it from your end of the table all the way down to me. Got your book, and she's getting prints from Dennis. Comes to me, and I'm like, "Hey, do you like D&D?" And she's like, "Yep, bye." I'm like,
well,
all right.
Jerry and I got the exact same treatment, but it's because we're from the Northeast,
Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
All
Jersey
right.
and New York.
Because I literally, it's so funny. I literally told you guys that story the night before when we were having dinner at your house, and I told you a story about Tennessee, about someone finding out from New Jersey and literally just stopped talking to me mid-sentence and walked away from it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it literally happened the next day. And Dennis was so turned off by it. And he says to me, he goes, that's a real thing. I'm like, I told you, it doesn't happen often, but it happens. Yeah. And the guy was like, they're from New York and Jersey. Chris's shit.
I've experienced
what do you do with ours?
I've introduced myself to people, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm from Connecticut," and they're like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, it's crazy, right? I know it's for real.
Yeah, it's a different type of discrimination. It's hard to explain. It's like a regional discrimination.
It's regional, yeah.
And
it's literally from a war that no one fought in.
Yeah, I mean, nobody around.
That's what it's really about.
They had anything to do with that, and ultimately, we're all still the same country. They never seceded. So
right? That's what we said. You said United States. I'm sorry
of America.
You're one of the stars on that flag. I'm just saying. All right, I hope you understand that.
I don't get the discrimination.
Weird.
You just kind of learn to deal with it.
Well,
it's even weirder because North Carolina is a huge mixing pot. I mean, if I go to Raleigh or Charlotte, especially, you don't really see many people from Raleigh or Charlotte. They've moved there from other places. And Winston is getting to be the same, especially with this housing boom we have. I mean, North Carolina's cheap. People are coming in from all over the place buying a property just to have a place here. So they're idiots for trying to
pull that. Gary and I are both looking. I'd move down there tomorrow if I could. My wife.
No, hell yeah. I've been looking for EMS jobs.
That's great. Natalie and I were talking about that yesterday. That would be cool if you guys all moved down here.
Well,
we could have the SSB headquarters.
Yeah. Apparently our daughters have been chatting all day. So
oh, really? That's awesome.
Yeah. And so,
that's crazy with your daughters. Like, there's no way you would have. You can't
Chris
get me to believe.
Wait, like a month and a half ago or 2 months ago, Chris said, he goes, "What?" And he goes, "They're literally the same person." He goes, "You're gonna find out."
Yeah, you did. You had G on something, and I saw the personality there, and I was like, "I'm watching Audrey," and they sit down, and apparently, according to the wives, it was like, "Hey, I like lemonade. I like lemonade. Hey, I like this. Oh, I like that. And then all of a sudden it was just you see them and they were
Did we
best
just become best friends?
Yeah,
Yes, we did.
it was
Yeah.
Step Brothers, right? And that was one of the coolest things for me, only because with the way the North Carolina is and how my kid has been in school,
Right.
she doesn't get a lot of interaction, and so when you guys came down and all of a sudden she's got this new friend, I was like, that's great. I thought that was perfect, and you and I get along great. Our wives all got along great. Like everybody, there was no tension in the room at all. And it's kind of hard to get a big group of people like that with no tension.
Like, I mean, really, like the minute we met, it's like I had no. It's like it wasn't like a thing. It was just like, okay, I know this guy. We're talking to him for like a year now, and
yeah, it was awesome. I'm really glad we had the smaller con too. Speaking of like the con size, it wasn't teeny. I mean, I've seen much smaller than that, but
yes. Me too.
The first day traffic was perfect for us to get used to each other and really like be able to sit there and socialize on a personal level, not just in our group chat, because I feel bad for everyone in that group chat sometimes if you're gone for a day.
And you gotta come back and read all that stuff.
My God, like when I dip out on occasion and I come out, I'm not reading this shit. I'm not doing it. I'm not gonna do it.
I feel there's a reason Nick doesn't pop in. It's because he opens it up and goes, what chaos am I looking at?
Yeah. And that's the thing, like that sometimes the chat gets, it's okay. You see, a lot of time it runs mundanely, and there's stuff dropped there, but there's certain times when all the proverbial planets align and everybody is firing on all pistons on there, and it's like meme, gif, comments, boo, 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 and then I say no, it's scroll. You're actually watching it scroll as you're in it, and it's crazy as hell.
So Instagram removed my ability to put in GIFs.
Well, that's probably for the best, I think. But
I guess I must have put some inappropriate GIFs somewhere in our chat because I don't talk to anybody.
Well, it's funny that you said that. I did notice on mine, it's there, but it's darkened out. Like it's like really a very sub shade of the color, so it may still be there. If you're using the black, use the black background.
Mm-hmm.
Check it out because it may still be there because it's there where it would normally be, but it doesn't show it to you anymore. That's how it is on mine, and obviously we all.
I feel like the black background makes it difficult to see anything.
It hurts. It's not. It's supposed to be better for your eyes.
Well, I see what happened. Okay, so I now have a button for Giphy. I guess that app that they use, and next to that is the okay. I found it again. I thought I was in trouble. I really thought that Instagram was punishing me for something. So
give it time, Chris.
And I just now gave you the first GIF back on my GIFs. So there you go, guys.
Give it time, Chris. You'll get shadow banned again.
No GIFs for me for 1 year. Yeah, that sounds about right.
So the con, like the first day was a Friday, and it was right. It was like a few hours. It was like 6 hours, 4 hours.
It was 2 to 7, so we had 5 hours. Yeah.
5. All right. It was I don't know. I think I sold one book on Friday. I'm not sure. I mean, most of my books were sold on Saturday.
I think I sold one set of books that night. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you were. I mean, at the end of the day, like out of total sales, like you were the guy because you're.
Well, I mean, I had 4 books, so
yeah, right, and you're. And they're all colorful. And someone walks by and like, I want that one because of the colors. I'm like, oh yeah, we don't want my book, even though Jerry's book is brightly colored.
Well,
and then Jerry says to me, he's like, I should have brought the holographic cover.
Yeah,
so that is something I took away from the con. There's a lot of different people that go there, and different things catch different eyes. So like, and for one, I'm never putting my banner on the bottom ever again.
No, we're going to go big on home.
I really, Dan, I'm going to be hitting you up. Like the banner was great. I really liked the banner. It was just on the front of the table, and everyone's like, "Why don't you have it up?" And I was like, "But you know,
Well, it's,
the
I need
crowd
to get a
itself.
banner all together. So
hey, I know a
I
place
didn't
you
have
can
a
get them
banner.
called Staples.
I'm gonna
Hey,
go check them out.
you go to Staples,
Go
and
have
they
a
literally
chat.
make it that day.
But moving forward, I'm definitely gonna have, because I was always thinking, hey, I'll just have my main cover outside the
Yeah.
Kickstarters. But I really think, because there was that cover that Mo did for book 2.
Mhm.
Now, given it was a Kickstarter exclusive, I really don't want to go against the people that did get that. But
Yeah.
that was my number one selling poster. So I was like, okay, cool. This probably was my better cover out of them. But I have that Samedi cover from Robert Nix. I mean, it's the Bones book, but hell, Samedi's on the cover. That's going to a con. That's going somewhere because people walk
I
by.
honestly think that green cover of yours
Mhm.
on a banner would draw everybody with a pair of eyes over there because it's bright
Mhm.
and there's literally dudes jumping through the air on it. Like that, it's everything you would want to see. Everything I would want to see if I was walking by, I'm like, I want to see what the hell that is because it's bright green and there's like dudes like just jumping through the whole cover. Yeah, you got you can always make. There's also
Yeah,
table
there is that
banners
cover.
too.
I
There's
always
banners
forget
for
that
the
one.
table. Yeah, that
That
one's
was
the way
the
to go.
Ryan McCauley cover. That was a winner of a contest.
Yeah,
And yeah, I did it just for Kickstarter. You got a good point. That is a very good cover to put on.
it's an eye catcher for sure.
Yeah.
Just like your banner was. Your banner's got caliber, of course, right in the center, and then it's the banner also spoils the rest of your series. But it's got some other stuff. It's got some other stuff in there. But but no, that's a great banner. I mean, it was like, calibers there are dual pistols, like right in the center. It's
Well, let's face it.
it's an eye grabber.
I got two
So
main characters. I got a cat and I got Caliber.
that's how it happens.
And Caliber can't touch the cat, which is even more funny.
There you go. But yeah, so so the first day it was light. It was just kind of getting the feet wet, setting up, understanding how we wanted to be. Meeting some of the other folks that were in our vicinity. Yeah, we were not the only indie comic there. There was another group, and I am literally. You remember their
I got their
imprint
books.
name? I think it was something with a V, right? It wasn't Venture.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are some great guys, and very much like
GPS.
Jerry. Yeah, it was something. Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
There they go. Yep.
Yeah.
much like Jerry, very anime inspired, and so we got to know those guys fairly well, and we all went Facebook and and followed each other on social media. So that for me, that's I think one of the best things about cons is networking.
Yeah.
I mean, I can honestly say I would never have. I mean, I knew them before, but I got to meet Concrete Comics in person at my very first con that I was just visiting. I got to meet quite a few people that uh, it's networking. Networking's everything. And we met some the Torch comic, the other fellow who wrote that comic, and it was just a good time for that. Not to mention the interacting with ourselves.
And for me, it was cool to see some creators from my area because,
Yeah.
I say this a lot. I come from a music background. And for me, it was like when we were playing music, meeting other bands, like local bands that I really liked. It was like, hey, we need to hang out. We need to play shows together. We need to promote together, because there's a small community that we can, I have fans locally. You have fans locally. Let's share these fans. And when I was talking to them about doing in-store events together, I was like, hey, if I set up a table, you come set up a table. I'll promote, you promote. It'll be like a show. And they really like that idea. I really haven't had good luck locally with people like that. It's weird. You would think we all have the same end goal, but some people, I guess, I've heard they don't want to share it. It's like a competition, and I don't really feel that there should ever be a competition. People forget that DC has 52 titles and they sell really well, and Marvel has 70 different versions of X-Men, yet everybody buys them. So you don't really compete with each other if you have quality stories. Now, if I'm writing Crit and then Jason decides to write Crit, I'm sorry, you're late to the game on that one. But that would be competition. But we're writing different stories.
Yeah.
It's not like we're all writing the same story from different perspective. It's it should be a team effort.
I don't know. Maybe people just feel like they've been burned in the past, or it's just hard to find that trust and connection with certain people.
I think it's personally, it's something where maybe they're afraid they rip off something that they have. Whether it's concept, whether it's a design. Like, I think it might be something like that too, because the
that does
difference
run pretty rampant.
Yeah. Well, when
I understand it. At the end of the day, there's always that fear when you're presenting your material and your babies. I mean, hell, I've got the Convictor coming in my next book. I'm sorry. He's called Constrictor though, and he has a snake on his mask head, but he's undying will.
Yeah, he has undying the will of the snake.
Right. Yeah. So you chop his head off and he just regrows because
and everyone knows that. I mean, that's like,
I guess I should call him like Worm Man, because that's kind of what a worm does.
It can, it grows into 2 more pieces. Yeah, you can do that.
I'm probably giving somebody an idea right now.
Probably. Like I was saying, I think that I think the differences with indie guys, why they're so guarded, is because they're not Marvel and they're not DC, and they don't have a team of lawyers or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally a group of we don't have that kind of backing. We're not a corporation. And, and Chris grows in the coolest possible way ever. And man, look at him. Look, he looks so happy. He's so happy right there.
Imagine he wasn't really frozen. He's just sitting very still
and
to pretend.
He said his internet first. So, Chris, you want me to drop you out and then add you back in? I could do that too. Yeah, he dropped himself out. Okay. Anyway, so Jerry. So while we wait on Chris, Jerry and I could talk about our. We had a lot of fun talking about Power Rangers. I actually have a. I'm going to show everybody that I have this. This is just primarily for Jerry. I should make you call me right now.
The whole time my wife was asking me, "Did you call him? Did you text him? Did you hear it?"
So you can see on the phone here, it's hard to say. Jerry's background is the Green Ranger and Dragon Sword for our text message conversation. So, and his ringtone is "Go Green Ranger, go." And I even wore a Power Ranger shirt for him, but I was nice. I wasn't gonna come on too strong, so I wore one that has the Red Ranger in front of the Green Ranger.
The whole squad.
The whole squad, yeah. That you got to represent, right? So,
I got a similar shirt to that too.
Chris is fine. He's master of moving so slow. He's invisible. Nate talking about Chris. Chris, that code. If you can hear that code, should still work. So. But because if he's on here, anyway, yeah. So you and I had some fun. We powed around quite a bit. Jerry was introduced to Krispy Kreme donuts.
My first Krispy Kreme donut experience.
I literally tell everyone this story. I say that that he that he is going to it's his first Krispy donut, and I'll never forget that he says, and I quote, "If I dipped out, hold on one second, if you can't see me, I'm just trying to get hold of Chris right here." I said that tell everybody Chris's story with Chris. I'm sorry, I'm typing Chris's name and I'm saying Chris's story. Anyway, all right, sorry, I had to send Chris up. Sorry about that. Had to send Chris a link to get back into the program. But anyway, so Jerry had his Krispy Kreme. I could tell him about Krispy Kreme, and Jerry had it. He said, "I never had it before." Had it, and he said, "What'd you say, Jerry?"
This is what Dunkin' Donuts wish it was.
That's my favorite. Because you got it fresh off the belt. It's fresh off the
Hmm.
belt, warm, flaky. It's everything that you. And now I have mentioned before. I've grown up in Florida, so Krispy Kreme is everywhere. We didn't really have Dunkin' Donuts per se. It was Krispy
Now,
Kreme and Baskin Robbins was our ice cream place. There was no real Dunkin' Donuts. So,
now I
uh,
almost gave up on donuts because dealing with Dunkin' Donuts, it's like I remember they brought in a fresh batch of donuts,
yeah.
and I ordered it thinking I was gonna get some nice soft donuts, and they were still rocks, and I was like, this is insane. Like,
Well, that's why I said to you, I'm like, I don't have I mean, we have Dunkin' Donuts everywhere here. We don't have that
mhm,
experience. I don't know if that's a city thing, you know what I
hmm,
mean, or whatever. My daughter Amanda did tell me that there is a Krispy Kreme in Penn Station.
mm.
That's what she
Yeah,
told
so
me.
it is in the city because I remember
Yeah,
hearing that
yeah.
they were opening one. I just wasn't sure exactly
Because
where.
I brought a box home for her, and she literally consumed them. Yeah, they didn't last
Mm.
long. So, but,
You know what it
uh,
is? I think now with Dunkin' Donuts is before they were getting these donuts delivered to them, but I'm
yeah.
starting to notice like a lot of them are actually starting to bake them on site.
Well, you should. I
So I
mean, your
don't
delivery's, like, never
exactly, so but
so,
I gotta
yes.
introduce you to my donut spot now.
Oh,
So
that's right, I'm ready.
yeah,
I mean,
donut plant.
you are not that far from me, my man. No, it's not like Chris, we gotta drive 9 hours to get to Chris, but,
Exactly.
so we had a lot of fun. We did a lot of talking. We did in fact stay in the same hotel, and I did in fact not use Jerry to drive me to the Marriott when my wife was, going out to, lunch with, Chris's Chris's wife, and my daughter was gonna meet, Chris's daughter, Audrey, so and I'm not quite sure. Now here's see, Nate says, "I can't get" I'm gonna put this up here. This is important. "I can't get my wife to go near Krispy Kreme. The fact that they have those in Australia literally just blew my mind. I don't know
That's
why
crazy.
yeah, I was like, "You can't get them in New York, but you'll have a Krispy Kreme in Australia." Makes complete sense. Totally
God
makes
knows
sense.
what you got to go through just to get there, but
Yeah, yeah, makes complete sense. Yeah, right, you gotta go through a herd of, anything, literally. My kid's
camel
been watching
spiders.
yeah, yeah, my kid's been watching, Shark Week, and they was doing a lot of stuff with, Nate says they have 2 stores. Doing a lot of stuff with, like, Chris Hemsworth,
Mm,
for, like it's the Discovery Channel. I don't know if it's Shark Week, it's Shark Fest for the other channel, and, for Nat
mm.
Geo. And, yeah, so there's, like, all this great whites, and everybody's talking about the great whites in Australia. I'm like, people are, like, surfing. It's fine, I'm just gonna surf." I'm like, "Huh, and you're missing a limb." So, I
There
was like,
you
I
go.
don't know. I have a thing where I don't granted, I swam with these sharks, but they weren't great whites and stuff. I think I do with my kid. That's not nowhere near close. That was in an enclosed, controlled aquarium. Um, but yeah, I don't like to put myself in a situation where I'm not the top of the food chain.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't want. Well,
Yep.
what's that old saying? If you go to the beach and someone says there are sharks in the water, and you say, "Well, taste the water. Is it salty?" Then there's sharks in the water. My kid, like that's my kid. My kid's got this weird. I don't know if any of your kids do it yet, but you have a pool as well, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, my kid says she swears there's a shark in the pool. And I try explaining to her, I'm like, "Gabrielle, number 1, no shark." Well, that's not true. A bull shark could probably live in a swimming pool for a little while. But anyway, I gotta tell her that she'll never go swimming. But I said, "Is it chlorine and it's not saltwater? No shark can live in there." So,
Hmm.
yeah, it's like these kids with their irrational fears, but yeah. Alright, so, Chris is saying he was resetting his router, so I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. So anyway, we will talk about what we did. So you and I finally had our cigar together. We were able to do
Yes, we
that.
did.
Yeah, and, that was a good time. We actually had a really good talk, and we talked about our characters and where we're going with them and stuff like that, which is awesome. And, to the point where I'm completely obsessing about a character that you're not dropping yet, so I'm not going to say anything about it. But it's occupying my own brain. Like you'll see when I get a text to me, I'm like, "Hey Jerry, I was
Yeah.
thinking maybe
Yeah.
this, and this." And I'm like, yeah. It's like I don't have my own shit to do. I'm like worrying about your character. Network issues.
Like
Damn
you
AT&T.
definitely helped me out with that because I've been sitting on this character for a minute, and
Yeah.
it's one of the characters created. For those that don't know, my
Yeah.
last Kickstarter, the top tier allowed you to create a character within my story. So a close friend of mine decided to go with the character and have certain abilities and stuff,
Mhm.
but it came down to how he was going to look. So I was talking to Jason about it that night, and and I was like, yeah, I need like an outfit about, for that character. And when he gave me a hint to it, it upsetted me because I was like, how did I not think of that? Like it's in the character, like
Right.
what he has, it's in the character, and
I
it just
think
never crossed my mind,
that
you
happens
know.
all the time, though. Sometimes it takes somebody that's not that close to the story to. I mean, that happens to me as well. I mean, it's just
hmm
you know.
And then after we figured that out, it was like, dude, I got the perfect artist for you to go chat with him to see if he can pull it off. And it was the 101 Masquerade,
Yeah.
also known as Austin.
Mhm.
And so I hit him up the very next day and was like, hey, dude, you want to do a commission for me? And he's like, great. And apparently I am his first commission.
Oh, good.
So
No, that's great. Yeah.
I'm happy about that.
Well,
So,
the thing was, I know you like a certain aesthetic with your character,
hmm
and I know what you were going for that character, and
yep.
there's nobody else. Like
He
he's
did
got
a great
yeah,
job fusing two animals together to
yeah.
create like the image of this character.
Mhm.
And instant fell in love with the mask
Yeah,
and the
me too.
design and everything.
Obviously, me too. I can't stop thinking
Yeah.
about the damn thing. So,
Since
I'm
then,
like,
Jason's been hitting me up every morning. Hey man, I thought about this name for the character. You know
bro,
what? This means this in Japan.
yeah,
Like
yeah. Oh, I'm telling you, that's a tough name, though. That's a
it
cool name.
is.
A Japanese version of that name, that's tough. And then if you
It
use the other
definitely
thing as
is.
just like a title, like like that's what the power set, man,
Hmm
that's gold right there. So, but yeah, yeah, that kid's good. Like I'm excited for that character. Yeah, I'm out mowing my yard. I'm like thinking, man, maybe we should, maybe we have this, but maybe we should call it. Maybe he think about this. Let me send him with this me. I'll send him this message. But yeah, yeah, that's why we're
But
all in this group,
definitely,
right? We
exactly.
still got network issues, so we're thank you for everyone that's hanging in here. You are right now currently dealing with the J&J show, and that's what we're doing right now. So why we're waiting on Chris. Uh, but yeah, so we're kind of just shooting the recap of COVID, just shooting the shit here and waiting for Chris. But we were talking about our first Comic Con as the Savage Sam, and Jerry and I
Yep.
were talking about we met for the first time, and we always talked about having a cigar together, and I made sure I bought really good ones for us, and so we got to do that, and we got to really like talk about our characters and everything. It was really cool to have the talk in person. I mean, we can text all day. Jerry and I have
hmm
spoken on the phone before, but I think it's pretty cool that we were talk, in person, and then we went for a late night. How was the Chinese food, by the way?
It
How
was
was it?
pretty good. It was actually
Because
pretty good.
Dennis was very vocal about you will not. It's hard to find a good Chinese
Chinese food,
place
yeah.
in the Carolinas. Now, here's the thing, though. You were smart and got fried rice. You really
Yeah.
can't. Yeah, you really can't screw that up. So, yeah, you were smart. I
It's
don't know
the
if you would have.
easiest thing to make.
Yeah,
Even though,
yeah,
yeah, there are some places that will screw that up,
yeah. I'm
but
sure
it's
they'll
the
burn it and
easiest
shit.
thing to
Yeah.
make.
And you had that homemade lemonade. How was that?
That actually was way too sweet.
I was gonna say
Like,
it looked the color alone looked like it was about
yeah,
80 pounds of sugar in it. Yeah.
diabetes that night. Like, I
Yeah.
need an insulin shot. Like,
Yeah,
it
right.
was bad.
Yeah. But,
So,
yeah, we got our families got to meet, that was cool, so you and my wife got to talk all about medical shit, so
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, your wife is awesome.
yeah, anytime she gets to talk about that stuff with somebody that actually that actually understands terminology and shit like that's, that's like
Hmm.
for her, that's her shit. But yeah, it was cool.
But it's
Yeah.
funny because I feel like, especially being as like EMT or whatever and stuff in the city, I can conversate with nurses, doctors,
Yeah.
law
Yeah.
enforcement, and everything because we're kind of like just in the middle of everything
Yeah.
and
Well,
stuff.
yeah,
So,
you're literally well, you kind of talked to both of my wife, so she's with a
hmm
nurse going to school to be a doctor. But yeah, it was fun, and we got to meet Natalie and Dennis and his wife Jessica and his boys Parker and Logan,
yeah.
and they were great. It was a good time.
Dennis's wife
Um,
is his polar opposite, but it
well,
works for him.
I think that like sometimes that's that. You know what I mean? Sometimes like I think you need to have some differences because if you're
Hmm.
exactly the same, I think you might too similar. Like I don't know, you gotta have different things. Like you gotta be into different stuff.
Yeah, definitely. You have a partner that picks up on your weak
Oh
side
yeah,
and
absolutely.
stuff.
I
So,
listen, my wife picks up a shit ton of my weak stuff. That's for sure.
I
That's like yeah, that's like 90% of her day. But um yeah,
think
yeah, we are.
I think most people was shocked on how tall I was, or
That was
how
the
big
best.
I was.
Like you walked in and like and Dennis was just like, I did not expect you to be that tall. So,
And poor
yeah,
Natalie, I just hovered over her before even
yeah,
saying
yeah,
anything
yeah,
like
yeah,
that,
yeah.
just
Yeah,
to
you
give
just
her a
came
hug.
in, it
She's
was
like,
like,
"What
yeah,
the fuck?"
yeah, yeah, that was good. We had a good thing going. It was like you and I are the same height, and Chris and Dennis and Natalie were similar height, and then my
Hmm.
wife is somewhere there in the middle, and Jerry is so tall, and and then so then yeah, it was a good mix. Like I said, we could have made like the mobile phone bars. Yeah,
Yeah.
my wife did say to me, she's like, she goes, you really are rough on Chris. She goes, right off the bat, I'm like, I said, Jerry gets it. Jerry knows. He knows that if you had to have a certain type of humor to
Yep.
do some do shit with, and so I said, Chris knows. I'm busting Chris's balls like that forever.
It's
He got
everyday
some,
thing.
yeah. And I was like, it's whatever. And he's like, oh, you're making short jokes. I'm gonna make a short joke. I make a tall joke. But but yeah, it
Oh,
was a good time.
good.
It really was. I mean, we ended up we had a barbecue at the Sailhoff, and that was a good time. It was a
A
great time.
beautiful home. Beautiful
Yeah,
home.
absolutely. Lovely home. Lovely cat. So,
Samedi.
yeah, lovely cat. Lovely, you know, Chris, Chris had that new grill that was just cooking stuff like minis
Yo,
or
that
something on
grill
it.
was
Yeah,
crazy, dude.
yeah. So,
Crazy grill.
yeah, yeah.
Like
I said to my
24 burgers in under 3 minutes. Like,
I, I,
dude.
I, I said to Isabella, I'm like, I need to get that grill. And like, and yeah, I was like, and she's like, my wife's famous saying is, do you want it or do you need it? I'm like, well, I kind of think I need it. They cook burgers that fast, but she's
It's
but
a flat surface. You
yeah,
can
it was
do
brittle. It
anything.
was
Stir
badass.
fry,
Yep.
eggs, pancakes, like
Mhm.
everything you can cook on it just
That's what's
because of the
got me
flat surface.
intrigued about it.
Yeah.
Burgers, whatever, but yeah, that's what's got me intrigued. Like
Hmm.
hibachi, stir fry, yeah. But
Yeah, I'm a charcoal guy, but
huh?
for that grill, I changed from charcoal to propane.
Right. They and then we went to hibachi. We did that one night.
Hmm.
That was fun. That was how tall is Jerry, Nate? Jerry is 6 feet tall. So that's how tall he is, Nate. And apparently I'm 6 feet tall. I used to be 6'2", and then I'm like, well, not anymore. Yeah. I was like, I
Compressed
said to my wife,
spine.
yeah, I was like wearing 50 pounds of body armor and stuff for almost 20 years and all the other crap. I said that's and before that I said so it's not I'm a little bit compressed. I need to go to a chiropractor. I was just had a conversation with my wife today about it. I'm like, listen, I'm like, I absolutely need to yeah, Nate here, let me put this up. Nate's 6'3", everybody. He's wants everyone to know he's 6'3". That's because you
Is he
have to be
really?
tall. Uh, that's a That's why you have to be six. If you are 6'3", you have to be that tall in Australia. I think Jack is like 10 feet tall. So I think you guys have to be that tall to fight off all those wily animals over there. So
For real.
yeah, I think that's a whole different level of genetic makeup over there. So, but yeah, so we yeah, so I shrunk a little bit, and so I was like, I said to my wife, I gotta fix my posture. My posture's bad from all the body armor and blah blah blah. And so I was like, I need to
Like Mike Tyson would say, his back is broken.
It really is.
Spinal.
Like, I'm like, I said to her, I'm like, yeah, I need to, like, they sell those things, keep your posture, because my posture's shot from wearing the crap gear. It
Yep.
rounds your shoulders forward, And Chris almost jumped in. I saw it here for a minute, and then he dipped out. But um, yeah, so it's constantly like pulling everything down here. So I need to, and I was talking to my wife on the phone about it, and hey, there he is, Chris. Welcome
Yeah.
back.
So
Welcome
my
back.
entire network just went down. I'm not gonna try and troubleshoot it right now. I have a hotspot from work.
Okay.
So that's what I might be using to stream TV tonight. Luckily I work for the internet company. So
Yeah, that helps. I will tell
sorry,
you
everybody.
that where it's okay. Where we tried to manage. We were just bullshitting in between. Where you froze at was cute though. It was
Perfect.
I saw
it was pretty freaking adorable. It wasn't bad.
like everybody froze, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah. Chris is like, I'm the only one not frozen. Meanwhile, all of YouTube sees Chris like this. No, we found
gonna be.
we found out some stuff. Nate in the comments told us all that we're that he's 6'3".
Oh, awesome! So me and Dennis are the shortest guys. Oh, Sean's in here. What's up, Sean? He's literally 5 minutes from me too.
Yeah, Sean. Yeah, Blanket Man. Oh,
Yep.
Man and Blanket Boy, right? Yeah. What's up, Sean? Yeah. So he so he's like, I'm 6'3", and Jerry's like, do you think he's really 6'3"? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, everything in Australia is bigger and meaner, so it's probably a real. As I told him, I think Jack's probably like 7'2", and or
For
something.
real.
Speaking of which, happy birthday, Jack.
Yes.
Happy birthday, Jackie.
Jack Sloan.
In the
And
future.
Yes, in the future. And we're looking forward to Colt going to Kickstarter on July 26th.
Oh, yes.
Awesome. Can't wait for that. Really, really ready for that. Oh, speaking of Kickstarter, I got something. Yeah. Anyway. Hey, Crit's live on Kickstarter right now.
I should probably post the link in the chat.
Sticks and Bones. Hey, and I don't listen. Anyone here? I don't know if you know, but Chris said if he got 100 backers on the conclusion of
The
this
Kickstarter.
he's gonna get a tattoo of Jerry's face. Oh wait, that wasn't a tattoo. No, Smetty. It was Smetty the cat. No, it wasn't Jerry. Is it my face? No, it was my face. That's right. Because you just put it on your ass and no one would tell the difference. Hey. Anyway, but yeah, he's gonna get a Smetty. He's gonna get a Smetty tattoo. That's what we said now, right? No, he's gonna get the crit dice, right?
I don't know. I might get I kind of want to get the logo.
The crit logo?
Yeah.
Cool.
The guy who is going to do the tattoo also designed the logo, so I thought that'd be kind of cool.
Oh, well, yeah.
Did you put it?
Yeah.
Did you drop it in the chat, Chris?
I did it under my Whoa Man account.
Okay. Yeah. So So yeah, I mean, right now, Crit is live on Kickstarter. 2 more weeks left, right, Chris?
That it
2
is.
more.
And I'll share the campaign if we have a
Sticks
second.
and bones.
Last time I checked, you had what 71 backers, right?
Mm-hmm.
71 backers.
71. Ooh.
Yep, he's
So
going on there, man.
the plot thickens. Here we go. I'm gonna pull it up. There we go. That's Chris's stuff.
Look at that.
Yep. 71 backers. We just broke 13 days today. If you haven't checked it out yet, I've got, you can get a digital copy for $3. You can get the physical copy for $6, which comes with a poster by Will Torres of Image Comics. And then if you haven't read Crit, you just want to get caught up, I did put a digital package in there, which will come with all the digital versions of it. You can do the Matt Weldon cover, which I should probably go on this side, since all my cool stuff's down here. And I really love this Matt Weldon cover here. That's the Matt Weldon cover. You get that for $10. That's going to be a foil cover. Then we're doing the audiobook, which is actually doing pretty well. I didn't expect so many of those to come in. So we've got the audiobook, which will also come with a physical copy of the book. That's for people who, you're on the go, you can't read it, not that you can't read, but you don't have time to read it.
Literally, yeah. If you're on the go, you can't read, it's an audiobook.
What's cool about this is it's going to be done by the entire team, my D&D crew. So it won't be me reading all the parts. They're going to read their own individuals. And the guy who plays Caliber, he is going to do the narrating of it.
That should be interesting.
Righteous Hero bundle, which comes with both of the Bones covers. And you're going to get a limited edition Bones trading card. I'm going to make Kid come down and sign that too. This right here is probably the most exciting piece of the campaign for me. The stuffed Samedi with the Samedi cover. Honestly, that's like my favorite cover. Just, the cat drunk on the ground. It's pretty freaking awesome. So much so that I put I'm writing the scene into the story, because I'm one of those guys who I like to see if it's on the cover. I kind of want it in the book. And so I edited the story a little bit. I called Brad and I was like, hey, so there is this piece, where we could fit this in and eliminate Samedi as a threat to the bad guys. And he was like, oh, that's epic. Yeah, we need to do that. So that now happens in the book. And we're out of this. I officially sold out of the whole shebang. So that was freaking awesome. That I didn't expect that, to be honest with you, but all 6 of those are gone. So, there's a lot to choose from in here. I tried not to make it too big. I've heard people tell me they like the big campaigns, but I did lose some backers before because there was too many to choose from. So what I did was I added add-ons, so you can customize any tier. Any physical tier can get customized. So say you want to add this Samedi cover to another tier, you can do it for $5. I did discount them a little bit. The Matt Weldon cover foil is very expensive, so you can add that to any of them, the audio book, and then the back issues. This was a big thing for people. There is a back issues tier here as well for, where is it? The new player tier. So I did put it in there because I had some feedback on Reddit that they couldn't find all the books on there. They didn't understand I guess I didn't scroll down and see the back issues, which was fine. So you can get it $25, all 5 books, or you can just add the all 4 of the original issues onto any campaign. And then I love this t-shirt, really proud of that design. You can add that to any of them as well. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff in this one. Nick likes to say that I always step it up a notch. And so I'm already planning what I'm going to do in 5, because I did put a lot into this campaign. So pretty stoked about the success so far. We crushed the goal within the first hour. And now I'm sitting right under $2,500 with a little under 2 weeks to go. So, I feel pretty confident that we're going to get my personal goal was to break 100 backers and hit $3,000. That would be a growth of 40 backers and a growth of $1,000 on the campaign. I think that we have enough to offer people in this campaign to get there. I'm pretty confident. I'm really happy with it, and the feedback so far has been epic. So thank you everyone for the support and sharing. Last night alone we had 10 backers jump into the campaign.
Yeah, that's significant.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I actually went in and I just started talking to other creators, and even though some of them, their campaigns had ended by the time they read my message, they still went in and backed, even though I didn't back them, which I thought was kind of cool. I had a lot of people comment on the quality of the campaign, like how did you get all those graphics? How'd you do that? So I see something there too. Since I'm going into that, I've been thinking today that maybe sometime I'll do a how-to in Canva, since me and you are really good with Canva.
I don't know if I'm good with it, but I'm competent enough. Yeah, I'm getting better.
I think it would be good to show people what you can do, because there is the free version of Canva, which still works.
It's a fantastic resource. Like I said, I made the graphic on Instagram for this episode, and the thumbnail for this on YouTube.
Entire campaign. Yeah. My entire campaign was made in Canva, and I use a program called Place It. It's another web design program. Mm-hmm. It's like $15 for a month, but you can create any of these mock-ups.
Yeah, that's what I was talking.
This is something that Nick and I had talked about when I was doing book 2, because he was using Photoshop and even said it was like, it doesn't come out the best quality. So I found an online program that you just upload your pictures and it drops it right on, and it gives you a mock-up, which is a big thing for a lot of people to show, the final product. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, really, really stoked about this. Like I said, I can't thank everybody enough for the support, the shares. I had talked to a few creators as well, and they were like, well, how did you get so many backers? How'd you fund? And, I continually say, it's my network, it's my friends, because when this launched, just like tonight, as you can see with my internet, I had a massive issue with my Instagram, and I couldn't see anything. I couldn't log in. I couldn't do much. And you guys promoted the heck out of it to the point where we funded just over an hour. I killed the Instagram live at 1 hour and I think an hour and 6 minutes. It was good to go. So, my
that was a very proud moment. It shows the difference between, like this group and certain other groups, that, there's really a brotherhood that goes on in here. We look out and take care of each other, So very proud moment, actually.
I submitted a ticket at work for my internet because
for your own thing.
I can complain about my stuff, and they just sent me an update on my phone that it's fixed.
There you go.
So, but I'm not going to try and mess with it because I'm already on, and so I might be a little bit low res because of my awesome iPhone internet that I'm using.
Listen, I've been low res the entire time we've been doing these things. Today's just so
my dad told me. So my father came down to visit, and I didn't have this light set up. I didn't have the microphone. I didn't have the camera. And he was like, you really need a new setup. I'm like, well, what do you mean? And he goes, you look like a dungeon dweller. He goes,
you should have told your dad. You saw plenty of those at Congregate.
Yeah.
All right. So you should take some snap photos and say to your dad, I'm like, all right, let me show you what these people are. Because, all right, let's talk about the real deal. Let's talk about the Congregate. Let's talk about.
Are we gonna go full Phalanx on this now?
Yeah, I'm gonna literally talk about the thing that everyone talks about at conventions, and we firsthand all got a whiff of it.
Not me.
Yeah. Well, I know the first time I caught it, it was me. I was standing by my section of the table. Dennis's wife Jessica was next to me, sitting in a chair with Parker and Logan. And Dennis was somewhere around there, but I'm sitting there and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like and And the minute it hit me, I looked over and Jessica, same thing, looked over at me and she goes, "You smell it?" I'm like, "Yes, I do smell it." And it wasn't BO, it was full blown. Someone may have shit themselves, uh, or their diaper is full. Their adult diaper. So it was disgusting, and it hung around, and then it came back, and then it left, and then it came back. So on the assumption it's someone that was making their rounds around the convention and literally leaving a doo-doo trail everywhere they go. It just, it was disgusting. It was foul, and I've smelled some really terrible stuff in my life. And I'm gonna tell you something. It was disgusting, and there was that, and then we also had the BO, somebody with the massive BO, and again, Chris didn't smell any of it, but my wife got that one.
Chris.
Yeah. And,
oh my gosh. Yeah, I smelled it when I was talking with Dennis. We were just sitting there talking and stuff. And I first looked over at Jason. I saw Jason make that face. Like,
yeah, right.
What the hell is that? And then I'm like, what the hell's wrong with, what the fuck was that?
Yeah. It was disgusting.
So, yeah, definitely.
Listen, there's a big difference between somebody ripping ass, okay? And then, you grow up in a certain culture and you're around guys and you're like, hey.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between that and the consistent smell of shit. Like, that is a difference, and then like where it's spackled in someone's underwear. Like, it's just hanging out, and
I worked at GameStop for a very long time.
You already explained the story by saying GameStop. We keep going.
Yeah. I had a customer, and the thing is, before COVID, I actually was very sensitive to smells like that. It would cause me to vomit. And so I had a customer that would come in, and when he would come in, I would usually leave. Well, one day I was the only one working. I couldn't leave. And I asked the guy, I said, "Hey, do you mind doing me a favor?" He goes, "What?" I'm like, do you mind leaving? And he said, "Why?" And I said, "Well, to be polite about it, I can't handle your smell." Because you're at work. You have to be polite about this stuff. But I actually called and I found out that I am able to, if they're considered like a disruption in the store, because it would scare off customers. And so they gave me a very specific way to word it. And so I did that. And he goes, "Is that why you guys follow me around with a spray bottle?"
Yeah.
Because when he would come in, we would literally spray the store with Febreze while he was in there. And he was like, "Is that why you do that?" I said, "Yeah, because you do smell very bad, sir." And he never came back. But again, he didn't really buy much to begin with, so it wasn't like a super loss. But I remember the can of Febreze that we kept back there, and we just spray and spray and spray. It was one of the more amusing conversations I ever had in retail.
Did he not know? Is that what it was? Yeah, he really didn't know that he smelled like that.
I would assume. I mean, you have to think, if you live in that stuff, and I mean, on a real note, like, those people, they live in it. And
you're right.
I'm super self-conscious. You can ask my wife, and I think I told you guys. Now that I can't smell, like, I'm super self-conscious about it. I would feel bad if I'm around someone. She tells me all the time. She's like, "Hey, you need to, Oh yeah, okay." Because I'll even freshen up. Like at the gym too, I can't smell myself, so Axe body spray. I don't want to look like one of those guys, but what am I supposed to do? So yeah, but I was blessed the last weekend with not having to smell that, because I probably would have vomited.
Oh, it was so bad. And now you got to think, though, this is like one of the few cons that are just coming around, because 2020, there's not really much going on, obviously. So these people have been waiting, and they've been waiting, and what's the word? And just
marinating.
Marinating. That's the word. Marinating these smells. Like, they couldn't wait to get to a con.
I wonder if maybe they just didn't shower from the last time they went to a con.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they've been basting in their own juices, man. And
Oh,
then,
Jesus
but
Christ.
yeah, I mean, that was I looked and everyone at when that happened, all of us that smelled, we're all like, "Yep, it's a thing." And my wife, I told her how con BO is a thing, and she was like, never really, "Eh." And then she's like, she found out.
Mhm.
She done found out now that
Mm.
BO is a thing in a con. But
Yeah, and it. I'm not even sure what really makes people
I
live
don't
like
know.
that, but
Yeah, I
I
don't know.
think that there's a point where there's an education piece. Like, hey,
Eh,
you stink. I had an assistant manager that I sent home once. I was like, dude, I don't know what you did this morning if you woke up and shit your pants, but you need to leave. That was before I found out you had to call HR for those conversations.
Oh boy, this took the wrong turn, didn't it? But or it took the right turn. Let's be honest, the Phalanx.
Oh, it's a
Um,
phalanx. Come on, we
yeah,
were playing nice.
he had the so there was some cosplay, right? Not it wasn't it wasn't like crazy, but there was some cosplay.
Lincoln and Zelda look good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lincoln.
and they
Oh,
had
that
the
whole
whole
family.
kid, the
That
whole
little kid
family.
was
Yeah,
adorable. That kid looked awesome.
she looks so cute.
And then they had the family that was unintentionally the Mitchells versus the Machines.
That's right.
You can't take me anyplace. I swear to God, like you guys found out, like I am literally
Oh yeah,
the worst person because I will, if see something, say something, right? I don't think I think that's for terrorism, but it also works for that stuff too. Come on, if they didn't
Oh man,
absolutely look like the Mitchells,
they
that
did.
father was
Sad
spot
they
on.
did.
And even my daughter and Audrey are like, that is what they look like.
Yeah.
That's literally them. And I'm like, and we had whatever. We had obviously the 501st Legion was there. Those guys are
Mhm.
always a hit.
Hmm.
The world's biggest Death Star gunner I've ever seen. That guy was like 6'5".
Yeah, for real. He
He
was
was
huge.
massive. I'm like, is it the Death Star gunner? I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
like that dude was huge. But yeah, he had that. We had some other stuff. But yeah, I mean the cosplay was light. It wasn't anything over the top, really. We
Yeah.
had, a lot of anime, right? A couple anime things
Mhm.
there.
Hmm.
I'm not up
It
on
was
the
the
anime,
first
but
night they had that. So I think after the dealer room ended, they had other events that went on, and I think
Mhm.
that there was some cosplay stuff going on in there.
Yeah, I think
It
so.
just didn't make sense to me why we wouldn't coincide with some of those events to drive that traffic to the
It
dealers.
seems, yeah. I mean, they claim that there's been 7 other of these. Like, I'm not like, I don't know. Like, maybe it's just because COVID. We're coming out of the pandemic, and maybe it's just a
Yeah, I
little.
talked to
You know.
one of another dealer there that does a lot of their events, and they said that some of the other ones have been very good.
Mhm.
So, but they were like, they were there for more of the exposure, and it's just good to get
Yeah,
out.
right.
And I mean,
Well,
at the end, we made friends and had
I
fun.
think we all said that. I think the Comic Con was like literally like not the priority of why we all got together. I mean, it's something we want to
Oh
do.
yeah,
I think it was more about meeting and just going out as a brand and trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work. And
it was more of an
Yeah.
excuse to hang out than it
oh
was
yeah, well
to the
yeah,
con.
yeah, it was an excuse for me
Yeah.
to get out of New Jersey. I know that. So,
Yeah.
oh yes.
And me out of New York.
Oh my god.
Well, we're gonna do this again September, right? I think our wives had kind of coordinated that.
Yeah, yeah, they made plans for us. Yeah, apparently.
Yeah,
So,
typical.
yeah, you guys are coming up to Connecticut.
Hmm.
I believe,
It's
right?
my 20-year reunion, so that should be
Mm,
fun.
Connecticut's not far from Jerry either. Whoa.
that's right. I'll be rolling
And
up in
then
there.
we're planning other Comic Cons. I think the plan was that maybe shoot for one up this way, November.
Yeah, I've been registering for Brooklyn's Comic Con because it's
Yeah,
fairly new and stuff. So I'm trying
yeah.
to get
Dennis
a
is
table
big on
there.
that. Dennis is big on
Yeah.
that one. He really wants that one to go down.
So it'd be great if I could nail a table there.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, I think coming out of this, we found out that even though all of our members, there's 9 of us in total, including all of our different the imprints that are under the SSB, and I think that we discovered that even though it was 4 of us at this event, that we can certainly we have no fear that if Chris does an event and we can't make it, he could have, Elementals book or Element book.
Mhm.
You have,
Mhm.
make the book. And because at this we learned that I think we learned what moves and what doesn't move with the other brands. Like I know Chris's books are geared towards D&D, so even if Chris isn't there, I now know, hey, you like D&D? Like now
Yeah.
I know if I say that, like people will come to the table and ask me about medieval times and how to eat the chicken off the bone, all that stuff they do in D&D. Bags of holding and all that stuff. No, for real
It
though.
was it was an interesting conversation piece because
It
even
was it was fantastic.
yeah,
It was a
it just
great
opens them up to
it,
tell me about all
yeah,
their campaigns, which was
it was
cool. You know,
I even noticed the day Saturday you spoke to a gentleman about it. And then he didn't buy from you Saturday, but he came back
Came
on
back.
Sunday and purchased from you.
I had
And
a
he
Yeah.
few
even
people that
said it.
did that. That like
Yeah,
they came back, and it was cool to see that kind of interaction. Online it's different. I
yeah.
think Nick was talking about this on his Facebook about us searching for likes and comments and getting those interactions. And I was thinking about how we interacted at the con and how those coincide. So how did I feel when someone at the con told me they liked what I was doing versus online? And I think we've gotten so accustomed to these likes and comments on Instagram, we've forgotten the importance of that in-person connection. And
Right.
so I got feedback. Actually, one of my buddies had driven down like an hour to because he had seen it on Facebook Friday. I was like, oh man, I wish I had come. And he drove down Saturday. He shows up, gets the books. He had never seen any of the books that I've done. He's not big on Instagram or something or anything. So he posts yesterday. He's like, "This is legit." Like he's like, "This
Yeah,
is
I saw that.
awesome."
Yep.
And I was like, that means more to me than those 10 likes from people I don't know. Like this is
Yeah.
a guy that I've known for a while and he has given me, real feedback. And I thought
Right.
I think that's something I look forward to in the next con is getting that in-person connection and building those relationships because
Mhm.
we don't have that ability. It seems like we do, but we really don't have that ability online. Like what we have, like what we've been able to accomplish in our small group. I think that we lack that with the fans and with the people being able to see who we are. The lives are great, but I really want to get in front of people and I want them to see my hands, not like in a real, because I'm Italian, that. And so when I get excited, it's all in the hands, it's all in the smiles and the expressions.
Well, all I
And
know is that I was able to get this.
yep,
Okay.
mine's down.
This is officially known as the Green Ranger 20-sided die. I don't know if Jerry, but I got this. It's metal. You can
I
literally
can't see.
you yeah, you can
I
literally
can't
kill
see.
someone with this.
Yo.
I mean, this thing is epic. I only bought it because I saw Jerry and I were over there and we saw one that was literally the crit colors.
Yeah,
Mhm.
mine's
And I was like, okay. I said, so we showed Chris. And then Chris was like, oh, I'm gonna buy it. So he bought it. And then I got mad because Chris had one and I didn't. so, so I went over there and said, well, they don't have a black and gold one for the Convicted. They don't have a gray and gold one. So the next best thing was obviously Green Ranger, green and gold. And then my friend Jerry was kind enough to purchase me these because he knows I'm one patriotic SOB. And I said that there was this red, white, and blue die over there that I really wanted. And it's hard to see, but they're like literally red, white, and blue. They're freaking amazing.
Mhm.
And Jerry's like, "Oh, cool, I'll get him." And Jerry buys them and gives them to me because he's that guy. So
I would have loved to be able to do, and I thought about it too, like the actual D&D game while we're there.
yeah,
But when we got there and we set
it
up,
was chaos.
yeah, I was like, what it's going to do is, yeah, it might drive some people to the table, but we'll be so immersed in what we're doing, it would take away.
Yeah, we couldn't even. We were talking
Yeah.
about Jerry. Jerry did a really quick live I mean, we talked about doing the Phalanx there, remember? But the draw, I mean, even though it wasn't a gigantic con, uh, there was really a lot of um, there's a lot of people coming in through there, though. I mean, it was steady for the most part, except for that lull on Saturday. Because Saturday was the longest day that we were there, and there was that lull in the afternoon. The morning we were slammed. It was really
Yeah,
crazy in the morning,
that
and then
morning hit hard. Yeah,
I
oh my
sold
god,
three
like
sets that morning.
unexpected how hard that happened. And
Mhm.
yeah.
the afternoon we had that lull. We were going to have lunch, and and our wives finally came back from literally taking all damn day to bring us our food.
That was my kid's fault because she
I
stopped
know.
for ice cream.
That's okay. Yeah, but we can't blame. We don't blame the kids, man. Come on.
I do. I was
But
pretty upset. I was starving.
yeah, I know. Me too. My wife's like, it's gonna be more like 4:30. I'm like, I don't care. We're just gonna go up to the snack room and eat a bunch of cookies. But
Yep. That was cool. That was
it
something
was
that I didn't.
that was new. That was something I've never even knew they did, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, this Congregate, it was set up at a Marriott in downtown Winston-Salem, and at the very top floor they had a suite, which had amazing views, by the way. Was that the Blue Ridge, Chris?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, right, the Blue Ridge Mountains, and and in downtown Winston-Salem, which is a very beautiful and very clean city. Jerry and I know from guys that are from Jersey and New York,
Yeah.
we're like, damn, that city is clean. But so it was up there, and they had snacks, they had water, they had sodas, they had tea, coffee,
Cookie, cakes, all
cookies,
that.
cakes, all this stuff for the people that were vending. You could only get in with your badge, and so that was it was just that at the end of the day, it was nice just to take that break and take the elevator ride and go up there. And Jerry and I stood up there. We bullshitted for about 15 minutes as we ate a shit ton of Nutter Butters, and then we went back downstairs. It was just to get that because we took breaks. Like Chris and Dennis went at one point, and then when they got back, Jerry and I went. So there was someone always manning the table, which was, and of course our wives are manning the table. So it was good, and everyone knew each other's. Uh, we all knew each other's price points. We all kept them the same, and that's key, I think, for any one of us having to walk away from the table, and we all know enough about each other's titles to be able to engage a potential buyer.
Yeah.
Price
And the
sheets were
price
good.
points, yeah,
Yeah.
the price points were legit. They were absolutely legit. So I knew if my book was $5, Chris's book was $5, Jerry's book was $5. So it was really easy for anyone to take the table over if one of us had to go do
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
and
You
that's
know, a good thing about what Chris was talking about interacting with people.
mhm,
The indie creators that we met
yeah,
and we bought their comics. Me and Dennis were talking to these two what I thought were children, but apparently were really 19 and 18 years old. They look 12 and 11.
that's the world we
Okay.
live in now, pal. So
Yeah.
it's either or it's
So
the other way around. Yeah.
but they have like that little fan group that follow them
Mhm.
to whatever con they're at.
Huh.
And it's like, that's amazing. Like, I
Yeah.
can't imagine going to a con here and saying, hey, blah, blah, blah. And then go to another con and seeing like those same people
Yeah.
go there because I'm there, or we're there. And it's like, we definitely, well, I want that to happen to us. Like,
Well, I know the Savage Street team is in more than capable hands, and we will at some point be arriving at something very similar. I'm almost
Yeah.
positive. So,
The books will be approved this weekend, so
yeah.
that's good. The thing that was cool for me at the con was when we showed up, there was no question about what we were doing. It was, that's your price point, cool, this is what we're gonna do. And then, well, if your price point's here, this is where my price point is. And then it was like, oh, okay, well, I'll meet you here, because we didn't want to undercut each other. There was no, this person's going to outsell this, and there was none of that. I thought that was cool. The only thing that separated us was I had the 4 books. So, but if you hit your side of the table and then start coming down, as soon as you're done, it's like, oh, check out this book by this person. And it was like we tried to hand off.
Yeah, we most definitely did. We had a few people that actually purchased all of them at one but and it's also that too. There's also people that are literally the genre is what drove them. You know what I mean? Like, Chris, yours is a 100% superhero book, and Dennis's is a anime type of book with some sci-fi and elements to it. Then you got mine, which is supernatural, guy with swords. You know what I mean? So there was a different.
Military.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
a different. Yeah, there was a different version, and I think that some people were able to, they got what they wanted. That's my point.
Yeah, there was that guy, and he was like, "Oh, I'm interested because I like werewolves." And then you're like, "Oh, and I
Yeah.
got Dracula," and then
Oh yeah,
was
well, I
like,
sucked
"Show
him
him
right
your
in.
Dracula,"
Yeah,
show
Yeah.
him, because he was
yeah,
like on the edge, and I'm like, "If you
yeah.
show him Dracula, he's buying that book." Like,
Yeah,
hands down.
that was Brian, the writer from across from
Yeah,
Brian in Norway.
and he
Yeah,
walked away with a book.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I thought that was cool. Like, every time there was a situation where we could help each other, there was no doubt.
Yeah.
It was just, hey,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, you know this about his book, or you should check this out in the book.
Yeah.
And like Jerry and I were so close. As soon as I was done with my interaction, it was like, and you need to check this book out. It's about four brothers. It's got sci-fi, it's got anime in it. And that was a big thing. I always try to find like a conversation starter. Do you like anime? Do you like manga? Yeah. Okay. Well, you're gonna love this. It's in a comic book.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. And so like when people were going down the line, I'm like, if you like Supernatural, you like the Punisher kind of stuff, like pick something that's easy to talk about.
And my
military type and everything. Every time I think of the Convict, I think of like military background and stuff. Because since Jason is so, like he's very in depth in like even how the character's holding a gun.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like military people, like anybody that carries a gun or anything is going to be drawn to that and stuff. So that's kind of
that was
what
my
would be
pitch. My pitch to some people were like, "Hey," I said, "when you were 10 years old, would you have wanted to read a book about a ninja fighting a werewolf?" And any person I said that to were like, "Well, yeah, that would have been everything at 10 years old." I'm like, "Well, I got that book. It's right here." And I said, and I wrote it for 10-year-old me. So, and they're like, "Oh, all right." So, yeah, that was my pitch. That was my pitch.
But those dudes across from us.
I enjoyed all the cross promotion and like
all those dudes across from us. Definitely, I felt that I picked up a lot of information from them.
Oh, those guys,
doing
And networking that's amazing.
Yeah,
they were the ones that were like, you need to raise your banner, get it up there, and because that was knowledge, and those guys do that all the time.
Right.
Like they were talking about from making eye contact to someone touching your book, leave them alone. That like this guy had it all like planned out, how he drew people to his table.
There was a gentleman that came up who actually ended up commissioning Dennis for a piece.
Yes.
Yes. And at the end of the con, he came back on Sunday. Or no, that was Saturday. He did that. He said to us before he walked away, he goes, "Hey, thanks for engaging."
Yes, big time.
Don't just let them look at your stuff and not say anything to him. He's like, "Thanks." He goes, "I'm telling you, it makes a world of difference for somebody." He's like, "Granted, there's a fine line between talking their ear off or just saying, hey, but
that old man."
What?
2 days in a row. 2 days in a row. That guy. He's killing me.
He's actually a well-known writer.
No, not him. That guy I actually didn't mind because he was seasoned. He's a professional writer.
He's a very professional writer. Yeah,
I felt like that was someone imbuing knowledge on me, and he gave me some of
his own personal name tag, for God's sake. The man is a legend.
Exactly. His daughter, was telling me about some of the stuff that he had done, and they purchased a book. And when he was talking to me, he's like, "I don't even like comic books." He's like, "But the fact," and he looked through all of my art and was like, "You went from that to this like in a year," and honestly, what he was saying to me just resonated so much within me to say that and he's like, you're doing it right, and that was cool to me because he was someone who had a big publishing deal, like a major publishing deal, and then went on his own. And so hearing him, I didn't mind, but there was another guy who was part of the
with the walker.
No,
I know that guy too. He was another one.
Yeah, he flirted with my wife because she was like, she said something to him, and he's like, "Oh, you can talk to me anytime you want." And I was like, and then he comes around, starts talking my ear off about it. And then the next morning, for 20 minutes, he's just talking, and I was like, "Can you?" you're not talking. He wasn't talking about anything that was pertinent.
Yeah, if at a certain point, it's like if you're not buying. Because he's engaging with you, and how many potential folks walk by that may have had a question or wanted to look at the art that you're standing in front of, and could.
Well, I would just be like, "Hey, how you doing? Oh, give me 1 second." I'm sorry.
Hey, how you doing? You like D&D? That's what you would say.
Yep. This guy doesn't, clearly, because he's been talking my ear off for 15 minutes about nothing.
Right.
That was the only guy that really got on my nerves. But
there was that other dude. I'm not making fun of him. Let me just get that out the way. It just kind of caught me off guard, is what it was. I forgot his name. The dude with the glasses that apparently was partially blind.
The writer for the Torch.
Yeah.
They started selling
so when he came and we were all talking. He was a great guy, cool guy, and everything. But then I went over to Jason because I noticed it. And I was like, I'm sorry. Is that a walking stick? Wait, is he blind?
Yeah, he had a earpiece.
He also had an ear thing. So I'm starting to think he was probably just blind in one eye because you can hand him something.
He was, because when I came to him on the one side and was handing him something, he couldn't see it.
He couldn't see it. Exactly.
Yeah.
So he made eye contact on the other side. How I knew at least one of his either he was partially blind or had just
he's a good kid. His book is actually. I tell you what. I mean, I looked through it again today because I put it. Gabriella has her little bin for her, and it's perfect for her. I mean, it's good. It's a short book, but it's got amazing colors, and the story's pretty good.
His artist is from Italy. I think he funded around like $5,000 for that book too.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. It's great.
He did a really good job. I was impressed. And outside looking in, it takes a lot of balls to walk into a Comic-Con that you're not part of and start peddling your book.
That's what I said. I'm like, that dude. I remember we walked away. I'm like, I think he took us. He didn't buy any of our stuff, and we bought his stuff.
Yep.
He made us ask him for his product. That's a true salesman right there.
He literally rolled us. So,
I was sitting there watching you guys take out money, and I was like, wait a minute, guys.
That's my rule. And my wife knows. That's the thing. I enjoy buying other people's books. I don't care if they're great or not.
Day one, I was like, day one, I'm not spending any money, even though there was a few things I wanted to get. I just, because I've worked the events before, and even at Verizon, I worked electronics events for them, and I'm a tech geek, dude. I had to limit myself on things. So I said, day one, I don't want to do it because it's going to be impulse. Let me see what I like here. Tomorrow I'll do it. So I felt bad for him, but I was like, nope, my rules are I'm not buying it. I can't, I'm not, if I do it for you, I'm going to go over there. I'm going to buy their books, and then I'm going to go buy that poster. And then tomorrow I'm going to be like, what did I just do? I really liked the other gentleman, the Electric Tiger, these guys. I loved the brotherhood aspect of it. I loved the support they gave each other. Just hearing their story and how they collaborate, I thought that was really cool because you don't get a lot of that. So I'm looking forward to a con with more comic creators. That's something I do really want. Everyone kept when I was talking to vendors, oh, why do you want to do that? You kind of stick out here. And I was like, because it's not that it's not that I just want to sell comics. It's that I want to hear other people's stories and I want to learn from people.
Yeah. Anyway.
And I want to be around people that came here to buy comics, not to buy the D&D statues that I had to hold myself off from spending money on.
Dude, I almost bought a freaking knife, and I'm there like, hello, you flew
Hey, look.
there. How are you
What,
bringing it back, dummy? Like
the mini knives
got one
are
downstairs.
the mini
Yeah,
knives
my wife
are
came
kids
up.
got. Yeah. Yeah.
like I'm
Natalie was
usually
working
that
the-
impulsive.
Yeah.
So Natalie was working the table. She sells my books, walks over and spends my money on knives. I was like, how does that work?
Yeah. That's all women, Chris. They want to go spend money on knives.
Well, it was the dumbest thing I've ever. So she comes over, and G had one. She had gotten one for me and Audrey, and I was like, "Did you ask Jason if you could buy him a knife?"
And what'd she say? It's Jason.
like,
I'm sure
"It's
she can have a
Jason."
knife. Yeah.
And G was like, "I have knives." I was like, "Okay." Well, in my defense, though, at the same time, like, you are formidable with a knife. My older brother, his kid, when he was young, about G's age, he literally could fire. He was like went through young military school, whatever. So he was firing guns. But I know 10-year-olds with parents that are like you, that they're like, nah, my kid's not touching a knife. They'll cut their hand off. They're an idiot,
Mm-hmm.
So I look over at your wife, and she's like, have you met her dad? I was like, all right, cool. My wife's over here putting knives in your kid's pocket.
Well, yeah, I mean, so the experience for networking was great. We met Chris and we were able to do something we never thought we were going to do. Going to this
I
con.
finally saw the video of it.
Yeah,
If it's
yeah.
what I think.
Oh yeah,
you
that
guys
was
are talking
actually
about.
like that blew my mind. That
Same.
one thing, when
That's
she
on a
came
goal
up-
of mine. However small, that was always on my goal list at some point to,
Mhm.
do something like that. And I was like, damn, I inspected like out of the blue and not prepared, but
Yeah, I mean,
we're
when
always
she walked
prepared.
up, I was like, "What do you need us to do?" And she was like, "Well, somebody dropped off. Do you guys want to do a panel?" And I was like, "I'm not doing it by myself," because she'd asked me if I wanted to do it, and I was like, "I'm not going to do it by myself. I do these things all the time. These are fun, but I was like, if I'm going to get on a panel, one of these guys is coming, And so, we need to post that video. Natalie put it in the drive.
Yeah, we should have had little name tags. You should have whipped those up real quick. But yeah,
When we sat down, I'm like, I'm sitting next to a guy like, professionally published, like
20 years professionally published cartoonist.
yeah,
Yeah,
and we're just chatting away.
well,
But you guys definitely saved it. Like me watching the video, and the guy had a few great things to say and stuff. But after I was just like, you and Chris definitely like took it over. So I was like,
we
yeah,
take
he really
everything
needs you
over.
guys.
That's what we do.
That is what we do.
Like, we get in there, and I didn't want to step on his toes. I felt like a guest on the panel, but he afterward he came by and was like, "Man, you guys just saved the whole thing."
That's what he said to me too. Walking out of there, he was like, "Thank God you guys are on there because I'm not much of a talker." I was like, "Oh well, we can talk." That's all we do. I said we can especially talk when we're going back and forth. I said that's just something we do. And he's like, yeah, and he's like, thank God you guys literally saved my bacon in there. I said, well, be fair, Chris and I co-host a very small YouTube channel, and and I said, so we're used to talking to each other like that. And he goes, no, it was really great, thank you.
Yeah, I think
then he wanted to, and then he switched books with all of us. We got his awesome book. I
was gonna say it was kind of for me when we left, it was really cool for him to walk back in and want to sign the book and thank us.
He didn't have to do any of that.
No, like he tracked us down and even gave us that positive reinforcement, which is something I didn't really expect. I didn't expect to do a panel my first Comic-Con. But it's fitting, it really is, because one thing that we do, we might talk shit, we might talk some pretty rough shit sometimes, but at the end of the day, we do want to help creators, aside from one, but the rest of them, maybe two,
three. Anyway, the list.
We should probably stop.
It says right here, the list is very real. It says on my thing. I keep myself centered on that.
And he put it on with his lipstick and starts crossing me.
That's right. They do it. Yeah, so it was cool because what was it? Writing for visual storytelling, right? Is
Mhm.
that what it was? And then
Yep.
and we sat in. Anyway, the gentleman we were talking about is Tim Rickard. He he has a nationally syndicated cartoonist strip for something. It's called Rooster Rocket, which, as Tim would say, is Homer Simpson in space. And at that point, I knew I needed the book.
Yep.
So once he said that,
Exactly what I
and
said. I was like, wait, what?
I've glanced. I read a couple of the strips in the book, and it's hilarious. And again, it's Brewster Rocket. I definitely recommend you picking it up. Yeah, so we sat on this panel, about maybe 10 folks in the audience, and they were able to ask questions and different genres. Some people were just writers, some people were working on novels, somebody else was an artist, and so there was a very eclectic mix, which was cool because you know, you had from Tim, Chris, and myself, you had a good mix of different approaches.
Agreed.
How you
I
take
thought there was a lot of talent at the table and knowledge. Like I thought that was what people wanted to see, and we were all different in the way we do storytelling, the way we use
Yeah,
our visuals to tell the story. Um, I really enjoyed listening to him speak. He was very well spoken. He was very knowledgeable, and just for the first con that we ever do to be on that was freaking awesome.
yeah, but
I
it
don't
was
know.
it was that was definitely outside of meeting you knuckleheads. That was a pretty decent highlight. So,
What was your guys' favorite questions on the panel that was asked?
They're the gentleman talking about how to get the books published. I always like telling people, because even when, if I don't know how much of it Natalie caught. I actually haven't watched the whole video yet, but
She
there
got,
were
I want to say maybe like 11 or 12 minutes of it. I don't know if it was.
yeah, she
there
came
were
in
30
about
40 minutes.
yeah, but yeah, she
Oh,
came about
okay,
10
yeah.
minutes
There
after it
there were
started.
people in there that didn't know how to get a book published, like printed,
Right.
and I was telling them, a year ago, I didn't know either, and a year and a half ago. And none of us really did. It was just get into groups, start asking questions. And I still, to this day, forget that there are people that will not ask a question. There are shy people out there. They're just afraid to ask, hey, how do you do this? I was
Yeah.
always raised with you don't know unless you ask. My
Yeah.
mother was very strict on that.
The
So,
only stupid question is the one that wasn't it that you
yep.
didn't ask. That
And so seeing some of the look on the faces when we were like, it was like eyes glazed over as you're talking about the process. And I'm like, this is very doable for anybody,
yeah.
And I was like, if we can do it, if
What
me and you can publish a
really,
book,
that's literally what we
anybody
said. Yeah. That was my favorite thing too. I told him, I was like, you're living in the perfect time to create anything. There is literally resources that are absolutely at your fingertips that you never have to worry about. You can literally Google it. I did it when I was getting back into it. I mean, I go on YouTube for same thing. I was looking up how to set up my next artist table display. I was looking up about those cubes and stuff. Literally, YouTube has 500 videos about it. You can learn anything. And
I
so
Googled how to clean my grill today, and so anything's on there.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, right?
Like,
But yeah, it's just one of those things where, and so my favorite question was definitely that, and the person was, actually, I remember the one woman that had asked me that, how much of your book is traditional and how much is digital, and that
yeah,
was
that
good
question was
because
good.
we talked about you were digital and I was barely digital, um, which I'm working on right here now, but so. Yeah, I mean, no, the questions are great, and I said that's something we didn't anticipate, but just like everything else that you and I do when it comes to shit like this, like if it comes to talking, uh, we have no shortage of no shortage of talent in that department.
I have no clue what Jerry's doing right now, but
I
it's
think Jerry's getting abducted by aliens. That's what it looked like. I wasn't sure. It was something.
I had to
So,
connect my phone to the charger. Sorry.
oh, okay.
oh,
It it was pretty interesting. It was looking a little funky there.
I was like, is this going to be one of those
Yeah.
jackass moments
Yeah.
where he starts dropping stuff on his phone to freak us out or something? But and another thing that was fun for me was all of our stuff on one table. You know, like
those
just
are my
the
favorite
sight of all of us at the table and the progression from my book to Jerry's book to the artwork. You know, Dennis and we had all the SSB there because Dennis, you know, he's drawn everybody. So, you know, having that and then closing it off with the Convictor book.
We had the slate stuff was there, and you know, and the cool part was too. And then, let's be honest, those SSB long boxes or display boxes are dope.
Oh yeah, having that was freaking awesome.
Those are really cool. And that's what I'm saying. That now that we have these, like I got this art walk coming up in September, right? And Jerry was he's talking about coming down for it. But even if he didn't, if we each have an SSB display box like that at our table, and I talked to you, Chris, I mean, we can put each other's titles in there, and you don't even have to be there because you know we're all priced the same.
Yep.
You know, thanks to Golden. And so that's the best part. Like you can literally don't have to be there, but you're representing the brand every single time you are. Whether the table says, you know, Homebrew Comics, and you know, and half your table has some SSB stuff on it from the guys in it, whatever. I mean, it's there, it's branded, and like I said, we all know, you know, we all know each other's
And
stuff.
even with the business cards that has everybody QR codes on it.
Yeah, that was fantastic. That was Jerry came through with these badass cards that have QR codes on them for everyone, which is awesome. But Jerry, you drinking a Red Bull right now? Is that a Red Bull?
Yes, it is, man. Yes, it is.
Bro, it's 10 to 11.
He's
off. That's right. You're off. You're off. This is your weekend off duty. I have to go to work. I can't drink the Red Bull.
Okay. But you know, another thing that I think we can take away too is, you know, getting square readers and all those things prior to.
Yep.
I'm getting one. Definitely. I'm getting the puck that Brian had across the way. Brian, or that little puck that takes the insert, and you can tap it with Google Pay or
cool.
Pay. Yeah, I'm totally picking it up. And Square has
definitely. The best. Apparently, my wife has one that I didn't know about because I had to have. I think it was Chris had to do a credit card thing for me.
Yeah, that's the way to go for now on. I'm totally picking one up for the next one.
Yeah,
and
you know what? We're in a day and age where it's like you could PayPal, you could Zelle, you could Venmo, you could do all these things, but there's just those people that are just not up to date. You know, that just want to do the card. You know, that's all they know.
These I know one thing, that puck that with the you know, then you can insert the card for Square. That puck has its own Bluetooth too, so it doesn't need Wi-Fi. It'll Bluetooth to your if there's no Wi-Fi at the venue, it'll Bluetooth to your cell phone's your cell phone's data. So I mean, at the end of the day, you're never not able to make a sale with that. And I so once, you know, I was talking across Brian across the way, and he's like, I was like, yeah, that's the way to go. I mean, I think the puck is like $50. I mean, if you sign up for Square, you get the free mag strip reader.
They take a little bit of a percentage, but it's not much.
Yeah. I was at work this morning and I looked up, and compared to all of them, like it's you know, I think the card readers themselves are they're a little more robust. And because there's other companies I didn't hear of that offer the same thing, but I'm so used to companies that I've heard of, like Square, PayPal, Venmo, you know, these things that you're using. And I don't know if I want to go to some third party place. They're like, yeah, we'll take your credit card and you can make sales through our app. I'm like, yeah, you know, who the hell knows? And then some guy in India is, you know, driving around a Maserati now because he's been skipping off. You know, I mean, you don't know where that shit goes, and I maybe I'm cynical. Maybe from the nature of the work I do, I'm cynical as hell. But I don't trust anyone. But anyway,
I mean, I'm pretty sure we're all cynical about that shit by now. We've all
been nowadays,
screwed over one way or another.
Right. So, but yeah, I from what I've looked into, I think the Square is the way to go, and plus I already have the mag strip reader, so it's like a good backup if the puck goes down anyway. So.
Yep. One thing I definitely picked up was that I definitely should have had like the variant cover of my book,
Oh yeah,
and the
man,
other
that would
variant
have.
cover, yeah, because even during the Kickstarter, that was like the most sought out cover of the four boys and their stones in the middle of their chest glowing and like a bit of their element going around and stuff. Like that was definitely the biggest hit of my Kickstarter.
What I learned is that I should actually have more than one book. That's what I
Yeah. I mean, technically, I was only
learned.
supposed to bring the
I'm working.
awakening.
I'm trying. I learned I could have more than one book.
But I
When
was just
people
like, yo,
pick up,
screw
when people
it.
pick up they pick up the variants and they're like, "Oh, this is like issue 2." I'm like, "No, it's the same book. Just
Same book.
but
It's all right. I wasn't even supposed to have issue 0 there, but I was just like, yeah, I got a few of them at the house.
no, it's good, man. It lit a fire
Screw
under my ass to get my
it.
shit done, so it's all good.
Screw
No worries. Uh,
Yeah, I was leaving and I'm like, well, I don't think I'm going to sell a lot of the 2 and 3 because people are probably just going to pick up like maybe 0 and 1. And by the end of the show, I actually sold more to 3 than I did anything else.
and you did bundles. Bundles were
Bundles was a hit,
bundles are
yeah.
always popular. Always. We did bundles. Isabel and I did them at the art walk we did in April. And bundles are the way to go. Like people love perceived value. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, okay, you get a book and a poster, $8 or something.
The
You know what I
posters
mean?
were a hit.
We'll toss a sticker in for if you buy this, this, and this, you get a free sticker. People love that stuff. I mean, hell, I love that stuff when I go to shit like that. So
Yeah.
perceived value is what
Mhm.
is what that's a lot of your business right there.
Yeah, like I said, it was a good learning experience. I really have no negative takeaways.
Yeah, me either.
Like nothing bad happened. We got to hang out. We got to sell some books, and we got to do a panel. And then we all went out for hibachi. I mean,
Yeah, we were just talking about when you were gone. We said, yeah, we had hibachi. There's that. That was good too, man.
Hibachi. Almost
I
burned
actually
my
just
eyebrows.
I used my grill tonight and did hibachi chicken, and honestly, it was the same. I just
Did you have the little PP fireman that you pissed on to put it out? If you don't have that, the little guy that pees, then or did you even hibachi?
Exactly.
I didn't hibachi. I just had grilled chicken. That's all.
Did you make a flaming onion volcano?
No, I just made the chicken because I was freaking
All
hungry.
right, then okay, so it's like hibachi chicken.
It was just hibachi chicken. I just wanted. Well, with COVID, to be fair, most
It all
things
tastes
taste
like
bad.
chicken.
Chicken and rice from the hibachi made chicken, no flavoring, nothing, actually tastes better than a baked chicken.
That's
Like
good.
when Natalie bakes chicken, yeah. I've been ordering Japanese almost every day delivery because it's one of the only things that still tastes good.
That's good. I mean, that's
So
something
yeah,
at least.
when I had the opportunity to make hibachi chicken, I was like, I'm making hibachi. So
You say you're
the one
getting
thing,
treatment for that, no?
what?
You say you're getting treatment for that, right? Or did
Yeah,
it not
took
start
a
yet?
laser to the front of my skull and scan my brain for 20 minutes twice a week. So I don't know.
one thing I must admit that I need to talk about this because I don't know, Jerry is secretly drinking like a Red Bull, but everyone knows that Chris and I have like an excessive addiction to Bang energy drinks. And I love the fact that every morning, like at first morning Jerry comes, he's got a bag full of Red Bulls and Bang energies, and he's like, "Hey, what's everyone want?" We'll hand him out, drink up, and then the next day we got coffee and we were picking up coffee, and then we had to go across town for somebody else.
Like you
But
see, but it's retarded that freaking Krispy Kreme
it
does
is true.
not have tea.
Krispy Kreme is a fantastic place, but if you go in there and ask for tea, you're like,
Yeah.
"What?"
Yo, she looked at me like I was crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
she's like,
what'd you ask me?
"Hey, this is
Like she was
Krispy Kreme."
offended.
It's like going to Chick-fil-A and
I-
asking for a hamburger. They were so
I have never
disgusted that you
been.
asked for tea.
So the Krispy Kreme that you guys went to, when I first started competing, I went there once. I'm not a big fan of Krispy Kreme donuts. My coach was like, I'd worked out with him. We had done, my workout. Afterward, he's like, "You need to go, get a sheet." I'm like, "All right, cool." So we were going to go get burgers. He goes, "We're going to Krispy Kreme. They're warm." Never been in there. I lived here since 2004. I've never been in that Krispy Kreme. I just don't like them. I had no clue they didn't have tea. I mean, if you sell coffee,
that's what we both said. And we're like, that doesn't make any sense because it's like hot water and a packet.
Yeah.
Like, so and then like later, Isabel was coming that afternoon on Saturday, and she sends me a message like, "Okay, what bangs does everyone want?" I'm like, all right. I said, Chris needs something that he can drink that actually doesn't taste like shit, so something close to sour. And then so she got you the lemon drop. So yeah, I just think we're all chugging bangs and like this is it.
Someone's gonna have a heart attack.
Someone's totally gonna have a heart attack. We had 2 medics there, we'd be all right. Yeah. And all I know is I could give you a trach with a pen. And and if you were shot, I could probably stop that. So other than that, you're shit out of luck.
One of the fun parts was the first night when everybody came back, and my house was just full of people, and we just sat there and talked the shit. Like we just sat there like talking until 1 in the morning.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Awesome.
Yeah, Jerry took a lot of cool pictures from that.
Dennis took a lot of pictures that I had no idea he was taking.
Yeah, Dennis is like a secret picture guy. Yeah, I saw that.
And we got to meet Dennis's wife, which was cool.
Jessica,
Yep. And his kids, they were
Parker and Logan. Yeah.
When we started telling stories, they started to finally like open up and started having some fun.
Yep.
Dennis is like, "Y'all not getting motorcycles. Don't even think about it." It's like, oh man.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where, when you first meet people, you don't know the kind of people they are. You know what I mean? It's just, we all know how each other are because, but the wives, that's a whole other wrinkle. Natalie, not so much because she deals with us regularly as well. But yeah, my wife, she watches these when they're on occasionally, and so she had an idea, but still, meeting somebody is completely different. And
yeah, when we were getting ready, before everybody came down, she was like, "So how's this gonna go?" And I was like, "Well, I guess we're gonna go there, set up." And she was like, "So is it gonna be like wives club?" She's like, "I don't even know their wives. I've never spoken to them." She's like, "I can hang out with your guys, but I've never met the wives before." And I was like, "Hey, if the wives are anything like the husbands, you're gonna be fine." And they were there. I know that was like the one piece that we hadn't really experienced because your wife and I think my wife's the only one that really just sits on here half the time, and so it was kind of cool to see all of them get along, and they had their little group chat. Like that was cool.
Now they're gonna be talking shit about y'all.
And we know that.
And then the kid, the kids getting along.
Oh yeah, then the kids, that was freaking great.
Yeah, Isabella said it was like when Audrey came with Now and they met. She said, "You ever see those anime where they get the little heart eyes? You know what I mean? Like the heart with the little water in it. You know what I'm talking about? Like they saw each other and they said, basically like, basically like, you like Pokemon? Who doesn't?" So that's basically how it went down. Isabel told me, and then it was just like, bloop, bloop, and next thing you know, Jesus, they're on the floor with Pokemon everywhere. So,
oh God, yeah, that kind of annoyed me. I'm like, Audrey, can you pick up your like? She had them under.
Well, they had that other girl, that was cosplaying, came in there and
she came out of nowhere.
Yeah, she did some stuff, and then my kid kept passing all her double cards off to Jerry. But it was good. And I will say though that Gabriella didn't have much of a Pokemon collection because of the stuff that goes on here with the stores and stuff not selling them, and grown men buying them and stuff like that. It was nice that the guy next to us, the gaming guy, had those $2 packs and $5 packs, because she was really, she significantly grew her collection, which only consisted of like 10 cards that she got out of a honeycomb box because she couldn't find Pokemon cards. They had Pokemons and honeycomb. So official cards there. So that was awesome.
Mm.
That was really awesome. And then you get the trade and all that stuff. So good time.
Yeah, I had to
It was
fight
it was
myself
a
on buying Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
wait. Listen, if you don't have that thing, do you even Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say. If you don't have that freaking someone get that man a Yu-Gi-Oh shield. So if you don't have that, that's the other thing we talk shit about, didn't we? We talk shit about Black Panther or about Infinity War, right? Where
Yeah,
he's
Yeah,
like, someone
Captain
get this
America's
man a
shield.
shield. And Cap's
That's
like,
not a fucking
these
shield.
are great. Thanks, T'Challa. These are exactly not what I needed. You mean you're telling me in
Like
all of
gauntlets.
Wakanda that dude doesn't have a round vibranium shield? All the shit that they got in that country? But
didn't they make the shield to begin with?
yeah, well, it was it listed
Nah,
as
yeah. They got the
vibranium.
materials from them,
Yeah,
but
but I'm like, you're trying to tell like you couldn't have done that. Like Cap's like, I can't throw these.
Yeah, I didn't like that shield. I would rather just not
And it
even
had
give.
the front slid up like 1 inch. I'm like, wow, that's great. That's cool. That's really awesome.
Mm.
Like when he did that, and it came up. I'm like, wow, that's not made to sell a toy at all, is it? So,
oh
but,
man.
bro, but whatever. Yeah, we had a lot of good conversations, man. We had a lot of good talks. There was a shit ton of ball busting. Not by me, but the other guys ball bust each other a lot. But
Yeah, you would never ball bust ever. That's not a Jason trait at
no
all.
way. It's not like my wife gave me a stern talking to when we were driving home from North Carolina about
That's
so
great. That is great.
about how I should tone down being myself a little bit, just a scooch, just a scooch.
Nah, you were fine.
But and
yeah,
I said, to my defense, and Jerry and I were talking about this. Yeah, I am me, and if I'm gonna bust your balls, that's how you know I like you.
Mhm.
So if I don't like you, I'm not talking to you. So,
there was never
or I
any-
will say something that you absolutely know I don't like you. Because Isabel said to me, she goes, some of the things that you said, they probably don't think you. I'm like, no, they freaking know I like them. I'm like, because I was like, she's like, I'm a So anyway, I got the talk, not the talk, but a talk on the ride home.
Yeah, Jason doesn't miss a freaking thing, not even on Facebook today.
No, that was great.
That
I'm
was
proud of myself. I don't miss
I
anything.
was
so
I read it too.
embarrassing, dude.
That's the sad part. I read that post. I didn't see white. And then when I read Jason's comment, I'm like, what is he putting? I'm like, oh my God.
We are the most amazing white people ever. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I was just like, what?
And Jared's like, I'm so embarrassed. And when I read that to my wife and I wrote she laughed out loud. I'm like, that's the best thing I could have written.
Because I had scrolled, I saw it for the best white people ever. I'm like, oh my God, what did he just say? And then I had to catch up on it. I'm like, he must have had a typo in there, but I swear I read that thing. I'm like,
Jay went back and fixed that shit. So now my comment looks out of place. It looks like it doesn't even belong there now for some reason. But
oh my
well,
God!
if they read the comment I put, like it fixes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's true. But, yeah, I don't miss Dennis said the same thing to me when we were up there in your office, Chris, and you had your one screen up. I'm like, what's that on the screen, Chris? On your Amazon, you're like it was the baby bib. I'm like, you got something to tell us? I was like, and Dennis is like, I didn't even see that. He's like, you don't miss anything. I'm like, no, I don't. It's my
you really
I literally don't miss anything. And he's like, God. And that's why I told you my favorite part of Fifth Element is when Corbin looked in the room real quick and got out and got everybody's, all right, you're holding this. That's my favorite part of the movie, just for that reason. But
yeah, I think Dennis definitely, when you watch him work, he definitely absorbs a lot of information.
Oh yeah.
Like even when we were standing there talking to those guys across from us, like you could just see that he was just taking so much information from them and stuff.
Oh yeah,
like
no, Dennis is very much that guy.
Yeah, the thing about Dennis, there she is.
We're bleeding
watching him
because I give the toughest love, so that's
you do. Watching him, speak to people, he when he's talking to someone, he's paying attention. You can see in his face.
Does. Yeah,
he gives you that attention like that. He is in that.
You get an affirmation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Talking to those guys, and those guys like broke it down. It was just like, even when you come in, like you don't want to give yourself too much. Like someone that glances over your thing, you don't want to rush them and like scare them up. Like, hey, you want to talk about like what? Like you gotta give people time to come over to your thing, to your table, and then look at something and then engage them instead of someone that's just walking by and just glancing over.
I think that has everything to do with Dennis's true. I mean, Chris. I mean, he's like Dennis runs. He's in marketing too, right? And his design and sales, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you can definitely see that in his approach to things.
Yep.
Without doubt. So.
Even when he was talking about his artwork and everything, how he came up with the idea for it and stuff, and like you said, he ended up getting a commission out of it.
He did
and stuff, and I can't wait to see that commission.
Yeah. We oh.
Yeah. Thanks.
That's nice.
Thanks. I know you weren't really talking about me, but thanks. You guys are all intellectual. Yeah. I just exude intellectualism.
I mean, about some things maybe. I like how to kill somebody.
Yeah, like we could talk about that all day. So,
but I think at the end of the day, we had some great takeaways. I think the most important parts of the entire con were meeting for the first time. That was key. That was probably the biggest thing for me, and I think everybody in the group. The con could have been canceled, and we still would have been having fun hanging out. That first and foremost. Second thing that I enjoyed was the panel. That was something that kind of like took me.
That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and then just seeing the other creators, getting out there and seeing them.
I never expected to tick that off of my goal list so early on.
Right?
Like it was on my list. I never really,
I'm texting Natalie because she was bringing me food, and I'm like, so I'm in a panel, and then Austin shows up. I'm like, yeah, I was invited to a panel, and he, walked in, and that was cool too because that's one of my guys in the book, seeing the actual fruition of what they do and the time they spend, and oh, okay, cool, this is what that is. I did enjoy that. That was. But $50 entrance fee on Friday. Whew.
Yeah.
No.
I had no idea.
Because of those panels. That's why. Because those artist, those writer panels. I think that's clearly that was clearly to cover Timothy Zane's appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Which I didn't get to see him. He was the reason I wanted to do the con in the first place, but I didn't get a chance. But
was he in one of those rooms, maybe?
He was, but I didn't have the time to. Honestly, by the time we were done, and if he had a panel going on, I was exhausted.
Yeah,
we were. It was exhausting, right? Like Saturday was rough.
Saturday, I was out of there. I was so tired on. I don't even remember the end of our meal. I was ready to go, and we come back, and the first thing I look at Audrey, I'm like, "Listen, you two are going to that bedroom. You're gonna stay in that bedroom."
Yeah, I felt. Isabel and I went back to the hotel room, and we're like. Oh, my daughter slept over the
she had to.
And they're like, oh, Natalie's like, oh, well, you guys can have a night to yourselves. I'm like, yeah, we literally went back. We're like, all right, let's go sleep. It was like we got back. We're like, she's like, first he's like, yeah, you want to get drinks or something? I'm like, no, I just want to go back and not deal with anything. I was so tired from Saturday that we literally just went up to the room and just passed out. But
yeah, I was up till 4 a.m. just making sure they were okay. They come running in with some YouTube video.
Oh my god, I didn't hear that thing. I still hear that here. Yeah,
I was in my zone, my relaxation space. All of a sudden, I'm like, somebody better be, So
you gotta watch this. Yeah, you gotta watch this. And this guy's stream, right? The cartoon.
And it's like a 7-minute video of the same thing, and I'm like, And I look at after about I think it was like 4 minutes. I look over at Natalie. I'm like, can we not? Like it's the same joke. And they're rewinding it and cracking up over the same thing. And I'm watching these two girls. They're the same kid. Like they're acting the same. They're just the same. And I was like, I mean, I was really happy though that they got to meet and they got to have that friendship because you don't get to see that, especially at that age. Like I try to put myself in those shoes all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
like how cool is that to come home one day and there's some random kid there and now you have a new best friend. Like doesn't really happen that often. So I was happy they got to have that, but at the same time I was like, get the fuck out of my room.
I said to Isabel as we're laying there, I'm like, man, Chris is probably hating life right now.
Well, I didn't know that G hadn't had like a successful sleepover.
It's like one of those things where it's my mother-in-law's, my in-laws. She's just bored.
Well, as a kid, I told your wife this. I used to have night terrors, and I remember having to go home a lot of the times from my friend's house. So I tried to make sure I was up in case she needed something. And once Natalie told me, she was like, "This is our first like successful sleepover." I just wanted to make sure she was comfortable. I showed her where you guys were on the back of the house, and I don't think we had any issues that night. I mean, when they woke up, Natalie said that they had a great night, so I guess that was good. But
at that point,
yeah, I think she was more explaining that it was more like towards having sleepovers with other people, but they're kind of into different.
They're into different. That's what it is. Isabel said stuff than G. Like,
but since both your daughters were into the same thing, it was like instant connection, and there was no feeling left out or anything like that. So
or feeling that you're weird because you're into
it was giggling. And giggling, and then when it got quiet, I was like, something's going on. And they were trying to figure something out in a game. That was when the only time they were not giggling was when they were hyper focused on this game they were playing. And I walked in and like Audrey messes with Max like all the time. So Max kind of he'll go into her room and sleep there, but usually you can hear him screaming in pain as she's, like mauling him and attacking the cat. I go in and Max is just wrapped around G like in protection. Like she is protecting me from the other one. And he looks up at me and he's like, I'm good, Dad.
Yeah, Gary just finished his Red Bull.
11:13 at night.
Yeah, well, this guy's got to go to bed though. But yeah, so this is so overall, I think the wrap up here should be that we had a good time. We learned a lot. We found out a lot about how we want to do things. We learned a lot, and we have a better understanding of what we're going to do going forward, whether that's for our individual setups or set up as the brand if we're all together and stuff like that. So I truly think that so at the end of the day, that's a win for me. Just having the for all of us, just a meeting, of course, and well, not all of us, but a few of us meeting, and also to have to just know where we want to be this time next year as a brand. And this
that's a good place to wrap it up. I mean, we're 11:15 at night. I think it's about time for me to call it too. But I can't wait till the next one with you guys. I didn't expect to have as much fun the first time we all got together. I didn't expect Jerry to be twice my size.
I think that was the biggest shock.
No one expected Jerry to be like.
I didn't know Dennis was my size. So he comes up to my car, and Natalie's like, "Yeah, I figured he'd be about your size." And I was like, "What?" Like I thought I was the shortest guy in the group.
It was the perfect pairing, like you and Dennis, Jerry and me. It was perfect.
Yep,
we're all
it was perfect. It was such a good. We just had such a good mix, and we work so well as a team. Like again, I think that it just solidified that this was the right move for all of us to make to collaborate together.
Oh yeah. Most definitely.
And there,
talking.
we're blessed because there are a ton of creators out there that don't have that opportunity. So very happy for that. I can't wait for September.
So yeah, definitely. Talking in person was definitely like a whole different thing. Like when you left, Chris, me and Jason was talking about, we had the cigars that night and everything, and being able to talk in person just makes so much more of a difference than talking on the group chat and everything like that. So, but it definitely helped me clear my mind, it helped me get focused, and I've actually started writing the clinic script,
Yeah,
and everything.
boy.
So
That's right. We talked
that's
about
in
that too.
effect.
That's right.
Yeah. So it was
Awesome.
definitely a great night, and I look forward to doing it again.
Oh yeah, most
So
definitely. All right. Well, I think that's gonna wrap up episode 11 of the Phalanx. The good news is the next time we do it, we'll have a lot more than our 3 mugs. It was just one of those things. Everyone's got some stuff going on. It happens. So, but you got the
yep.
two. We can all talk, so it's no problem. But other than that, that's it. And I appreciate everyone in the comments as always. You guys are fantastic, and you really make you really make this fun for us. And again, I want to remind you that Crit issue 4, Sticks and Bones, is live currently on Kickstarter.
It's live
So
on Kickstarter.
go to Kickstarter right now and type in Crit, CRIT, and it'll pop right up. Sticks and Bones.
Yes.
Go
Like
pledge
it,
because it's
share
free.
it, get your
Right.
families to post it, and like it and share it. We want to get to 100 backers.
Yeah,
We
because
want
if
that
Chris gets
tattoo.
100 backers, he's getting a tattoo. So that's pretty
Mhm.
awesome.
I'm gonna do it live too.
He's gonna do it live too. There you go. So I mean, just
Yep.
to know that you were a part of that, go pledge. Go
Mhm.
pledge. He's got tiers for every budget. So there's no reason not to pledge. So,
Quick
and it's
question, Chris.
appreciated.
When did you add the what do you call it? The catch up tier with all the books.
Just
The first
not
day,
too long
Was
ago.
it from the start, the first day?
so I had the books as an add-on, and I posted on Reddit. So Thursday morning, I posted on Reddit with all the Kickstarter stuff, and a guy was like, "Why would I want to back this if I'm only coming in on your 4th book? I can't find I don't know anything about your campaign." And
Mhm.
I the Chris in me wanted to shoot back. You blind motherfucker! It's right there. But I was like, well, in my head, the salesman kicks in. I'm like, well, if he can't see it,
Mhm.
if this guy can't, somebody else can't. Okay. So I messaged him back. I'm like, they're all there as an add-on, but thank you for that. I have now made a tier for it. Now you
Yeah.
can get all the books. I put them in digital and in physical. And so,
Okay.
I it took me 2 minutes and it made sense. I understand not everybody's familiar with Kickstarter or add-ons. So,
Yeah, because I don't know if I had mentioned it to you and stuff because I was always saying that, yeah, I see the add-on, but it's always easier to not make it complicated. If it's just something people can just go boop, 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 and that's it, that's the best way to go. Because
Yep.
if people got to search and add, because even people that back me were like, I don't know what I'm doing. Or I got to create an account with Kickstarter, or I got to create
Yeah, that happens
it's,
same with me.
yeah,
Yeah.
so you always go the easier route for people. I think that's the best thing to do.
Yeah, and going forward, I think that's what I'm going to do too. Is the catch up tiers first, put those up there. I didn't think I would really need that because we had the add-ons, but clearly that's still got to be a thing. So it's up there. Actually, the digital catch up tier is done really well. So clearly, people want to check it out. I think getting in and getting all those digitals in one bundle for a reasonable price that was good. So another learning experience for me. I think the big thing for me right now is the fact that this is my largest campaign between all of them. 71 backers with just under $2,500. That's huge. That's the biggest campaign I've run. We could end it right now, and I've grown. That's the goal. Every single campaign is to just move the needle a little bit further. My goal is 100. I just want to see triple digits. You've both done it. A good amount of people in our group have done it. I want to be one of them. But if I don't hit 100, I'm not crying. I mean, this is almost 20 more backers than last time on Kickstarter. Right. So it's a win.
Yeah.
All right. That's it. I'm going to take us out with a graphic, and I will drop you fellas back into the green room. All right, everyone, thanks for coming. Remember, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, tell your grandma. I don't know. But, tell her to watch Phalanx, and she'll learn some new vernacular. So, all right. Thanks, guys.